Welcome back to another episode of the RickSixPodcast. It has been a while, guys. I am not normally on YouTube. If you're listening to me, it's either on TikTok when I'm yapping about random stuff, or if I'm doing the podcast audio version on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. So this is fun every once in a while to get out of my comfort zone and do some long form stuff, especially on the YouTube side. And this is a long form type of video. We are going to be talking about our top 100 players in the NBA. The season just ended. The New York Knicks ended up routing the Spurs in 5 games, which was super impressive. I'm glad that Casey and I ended up being right about our prediction there. Siddharth, not so much. But hey, regardless, we got a good NBA Finals. Even though it was a 4-1 ending to, you might seem it might have been lopsided, but the Spurs were leading 72% of every game, of the entire series. I mean, they blew pretty much every single game outside of game 3. So it was a fun series. It was one of the better finals. I'm pretty sure it was probably one of the more viewed finals, especially when you look at New York fans and everything, and San Antonio being good again. So lots of things to factor in. And quick little disclaimer I want to say, and I say this every single year when I'm doing player rankings, is recency bias to me is the worst in the NBA. I think it's worse than any other sport. And so if you performed well in the playoffs at a high level, you're going to rise on the list naturally. Okay. But also, like, for example, I'm not going to put Jalen Brunson certified lock top 3 player or best in the world because he won the NBA Finals. Okay. Like, I'm not that type of person. And then also, I got to factor in, health too. I know Casey might have a little bit different mindset to his rankings. Same with Siddharth. That's all I got to say. That's my intro. Casey, welcome back, man. We had you on a couple weeks ago.
Thank you.
How we feeling?
Feeling all right. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we didn't get shafted too bad in our Knicks predicting them to win. I'm excited to get to these player rankings. I'm really excited to see how much different my list is going to be in comparison to yours and Sid's. So that'll be quite interesting.
I feel like with the Knicks series, I feel like we were willing to die, right? We were willing to die with that take that you said Knicks in 7, I said Knicks in 6. But there was still that, there was that lingering feeling like, we might be completely wrong, but we're willing to die on that hill. And I'm glad we ended up surviving it. So that was pretty cool. Sid, I know you're a Celtics fan, not the ending that you guys wanted in the playoffs, but hey, overall, Jason Tatum's going to be coming back after a full year. Removed from the Achilles injury. We'll see what you guys do this offseason. Are the Giannis rumors going to become true or not? Is it all buzz? We know how the Celtics are in terms of being contenders in the East. But how are you feeling, man?
Good. Whenever y'all were talking about like Knicks in 6 and Knicks in 7, like I had the Spurs in 6, but like it was not a stretch at all for y'all to say that. So I'm surprised it ended up only going 5. But when they lost game 4, and the Knicks went down 16 in Game 5, did any of us really think the Spurs are going to hold on? At some point, we all just kind of felt like, all right, like the Knicks are about to come out and end this. And like once they lost Game 4, I thought the Knicks were going to close it out in 5 because all playoff long they were, they were undefeated in closeout games. They could close out a team the first chance they got, and there's a lot of credit to that. And they dominated all those games except for, of course, the finals game. And I don't know, I'm interested in the offseason. Of course, there's all the Giannis smoke. This is a really loaded draft. Let's kind of see what all happens. Like a lot of teams are kind of like ass up against the apron, and so we'll kind of have to see who's going to have to shed salary. Like Denver might have to shed some salary. New York is probably going to enter the second apron life. OKC going to have to make a few tough decisions as well. I mean, who knows? Like I'm very interested to kind of see how everything unfolds.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it was kind of funny because I feel like my prediction from a game-to-game basis, I nailed it in the OKC series. I was almost right about every single game except the end, Game 7. But then with the Knicks series, even though I got Knicks right winning it, I had them in 6. That was wrong. And then it was like every game I got wrong. I thought they were going to lose Game 1 and win Game 2. They ended up winning both games. And then Game 3, I was like, oh, they're going to go up 3-0 for sure. And then San Antonio will win that last, that game 4 in desperation. They ended up winning Game 3. Then Game 4, I'm like, oh, Knicks are going to take this. And then Spurs go up that 29-point lead, and I'm like, I'm going to get this one wrong. Ended up getting it right. And then game 5, I'm like, oh, San Antonio is going to force a game 6, and Madison, and they'll close it out. Madison Square Garden. Was wrong about that. So it's just funny because I feel like I was so like I nailed it every single prediction in the OKC series, but the Spurs one I couldn't get it right. But hey, at the end of the day, we got Knicks right, so got really nothing to complain about. So without further ado, I'm ready to go with number 100. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. At number 100, just squeaking in on the list, I got my boy from the Dallas Mavericks, Najee Marshall. I love the way he played this season for us. I really do think that he's like that perfect type of role player. I think the floater is one of the hardest things to stop in the NBA, and he masters it. I like his mid-range game. I think he has that defensive energy that you really want on your team. Now, unfortunately, he ended up being our second or third best player this year, which is not ideal. I don't think Najee Marshall is that type of person. But let's say if he was on the Thunder and he was like your 6th or 7th option, I think you're in a really good spot. He just happened to be in that position this year, and I thought he took advantage of it. He was one of the small bright spots of this Dallas Mavericks offense and defense. So that's really all I have to say. Najee Marshall comes in at number 100. Am I biased? Maybe.
He was in my honorable mentions. I kind of like, I think I told you this yesterday. I was going through trying to like, I had too many guys on my list, and so he was one of the guys. I think he got to like 110. And so I think he was close to my list. At 100, I have Draymond. Still has an impact in this league. Definitely kind of fallen off of where he normally would be on this list. I kept him down here because despite his defensive impact, more of a one-dimensional guy nowadays.
Love it.
So I am in my lists. When people check me out and put on Twitter, I'm notable for doing tiers. I don't really split things up into,
of course,
flat numerical rankings. It feels I don't like feeling trapped, and that feels like an entrapment almost. So my tier 11 includes my 100th best player, but it extends all the way to 113. So I'll just stick with 100, and my 100 is Moussa Diabate for the Charlotte Hornets. I think he is awesome for the possession battle. If he was like a legit lob threat, he would be like a lot higher on this list, but I really value offensive rebounds, and I really value energy, and he hits home on both of those things. So that's what caused him to sneak into the top 100 for me.
Yeah, I like Diabate a lot. He was actually my most underrated player for the Hornets last year when I did that list. So I really like his game. And he's also kind of in that realm of like the honorable mentions because I'm kind of like you, Casey. I didn't make like a specific tier, but I had like a bunch of guys, like 20 to 30 guys that I would consider putting on that list into the top 100. And he was on there, no doubt about it. So I don't hate it at all. He's not in my top 100 though. Mm-hmm. All right. Number 99, and this feels a little bit low. I feel like I'm kind of underrating him a little bit. I like Immanuel Quickley. I mean, especially for his size. I thought he was a big part of the Raptors' success this year. And they kind of had a really underrated team. So Immanuel Quickley, not too much to say, but I mean, a guy shooting 44% from the field, almost 17 points per game. Raptors were a playoff team. I like his game a lot. So Immanuel Quickley at number 99.
Ironically, I think I'm lower on than you. He's also in my honorable mentions type of tier, but I do like it. And similar to Draymond here, I'm going with this might be low, but I mean, this is again just like he brings elite prowess on one side, but not so much on the other. I have Asar Thompson down here at 99, but I mean his defense is truly special, but I would like to see a little bit more. I also, kind of like you said, Casey, I love his energy. I love like his hustle, the tenacity. Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve. I think that's a big identity of that Detroit Pistons team, and he has a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year down the road.
That one shocked me a little bit, Sid. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I've got Asar much higher than that. That was a little shocking. My number 99. This guy has a cult fan base. He's a big pillar amongst like bag talk Twitter. My number 99 is Paolo Banchero.
He nuked Paulo. Oh man, he nuked him.
I really don't find a lot of his game to be tailored towards like ultimate winning in the spot that he's in. He is an inefficient scorer. He is turnover prone. He doesn't play a whole lot of defense. His rebounds tend to be empty calorie. They don't really affect the game a ton. I think there are positives to Paolo. I think he has like good general like feel for the court. He's like randomly really good at like skip passes and hitting the short roll. But outside of that, in the current role that he's in, I have to punish him for what's expected and for his contract and for how much his offense specifically is hurting the Magic ecosystem.
Dude, honestly, like, when I look at that, a normal NBA fan would probably call you crazy. Like, they're like, there's no way he's that low. But when you really think about it, like, you can't argue against how bad of a year it was for him. And honestly, like, I'm kind of out on Paulo. I was a guy that was pretty high on him, especially his rookie season. I feel like he's kind of just peaked, and it is so frustrating to watch the skill set that he has, because I'm like, in a way, I'm like, dude, like, you're built like LeBron, but you play like you're a 6'2" guard, and I just really don't understand it. So I don't hate it. I obviously didn't nuke him that much, but I mean, I can't really argue against it and say, oh, that's a bad take. So, I mean, good for you, man. Good for you for having the balls to do that. My number 98. Yeah. My number 98, again, it still feels a little low. I mean, obviously, when I think of all time for his career, he was definitely much higher. But just given age and everything, and honestly, I feel like I'm doing him a disservice because of, you know, how he did in the playoffs. But I got CJ McCollum here, and I think a lot of it is just age at the tail end of his career. I think his natural position is shooting guard. He's kind of been rotating in as a point guard, but I think Atlanta was a good fit. Washington didn't really work out, but hey, still balling out at an older age. I respect it. CJ McCollum at number 98.
I like it. I'm a little higher on CJ, as you'll see down the road. My number 98 is a guy who I like a lot, but I'm personally a victim of his success, and that is VJ Edgecombe. Low?
I said, oh.
Oh, he is such a downhill threat. He has such a bright future. His jumper's inconsistent, and he had some quieter moments in that first round, but he had some loud moments as well, and I'm really excited to kind of see where he ends up going.
Yeah, I'm a lot higher on VJ, actually. We'll get to that eventually. My number 98, you know, I really struggled with this spot because this is probably going to be another guy that people are like, oh, really? You have him this low? 98, I have Trey Murphy III. I think Trey Murphy is kind of a guy who survives a bit off of his highlights in regards to the casual fan base. He's a decent shooter. He's got a really rough handle. He doesn't really score as an elite of a clip as you would expect of a guy who is like a 6'8" wing with all of this vertical talent. And he also doesn't really offer you much outside of when he's operating on the ball. He kind of works sometimes as like an off-ball shooter, but not as much as you'd like, especially if somebody who's getting up like 7 or 8 3-point attempts a game. And the defense is pretty spotty. It's not as consistent as Pelicans media would like to make it out to seem. So I have Trey Murphy down pretty low as well.
So you're saying like if he was like in a different system, like you don't think he would be able to flourish as much as it shows, like on the box score, like what he does in New Orleans?
I wouldn't. That's the thing with guys who tend to be like high usage, who would be much better suited for a role in lower usage where they can make massive impacts in their ancillaries. Like we'll get to Jalen Suggs. My spot for Jalen Suggs will be shocking, to say the least. But he's somebody who, like in a lower usage role, will be able to have such massive footprints on the game because he does so many things that align with my personal process. On-ball defense, creating turnovers, managing his own turnovers, getting 3-point shots up at an elite clip. So, and Trey Murphy, I'm sure, could do a lot of that in a lower usage role, but it's kind of like the Paolo case where you're not in a lower usage role. So it kind of hurts you.
All right. Coming in at number 97, I'm high on this guy, but this is a guy that I think is going to flourish next year with the addition of now new head coach Thiago Splitter. I think Mataz Bucelis is going to have a breakout season next year. I really like his game a lot. Seeing what he did in Portland with Denny Avdia, hoping that Mataz Bucelis can kind of go on that same trajectory. But again, I don't know how you guys feel about him, but I have him at number 97.
I like it. He was probably my first or second guy off, so I considered him. I felt like he was one of those guys in that draft that I felt like was going to do well. him, Castle, and Reed Shepard were the guys I felt pretty good about. Reed Shepard, I mean, TBD on how y'all feel about him necessarily, but I like Buzelis a lot. This is 97. I have Dante DiVincenzo. First off, the Achilles was pretty brutal. Whenever the Knicks made that trade, I was like, man, like that's kind of like a underrated tough loss. I mean, I love him as a shooter. The energy he plays with, underrated, and as a playmaker, I like DiVincenzo a lot. I hope he returns next year. I'm not necessarily counting on it, but we'll kind of see how that all plays out.
I at 97 also have Dante DiVincenzo.
Wow.
Normally I'm much higher on him, but I have him this low just considering him coming off an Achilles tear. He's probably not going to play at all next season, and that's going to be really rough for a guy who's his age. But like what Sid said, I love Dante as a shooter. I think a lot of people forget that he had like a historic shooting season his last year in New York. He was making like nearly 5 or nearly 6 threes a game. I can't remember the exact number. But he's also very underrated as an on-ball defender. He's very he does a lot of things that drive winning. Statistically, he's an underrated rebounder. He is good at facilitating offense in a way that isn't damaging, that isn't like black hole-ish. So he's like a very valuable role guy that normally I would have higher, but his Achilles popped. So, and that sucks for him. I want Dante DiVincenzo healthy. He's a good ball.
Yeah, no, I definitely factored in that injury. He was like one of the guys that I just had outside the top 100. But another guy, his teammate at number 96, I have Ayo DeSumo. I like his game a lot. I think that trade from Chicago to Minnesota really helped. I think he's really like one of those hyperactive defenders, has a nice jumper as well. I feel like he's only going to continue to get better with Minnesota, and Minnesota could use it. Whether he ends up being their point guard moving forward, if they don't make a move, or if he ends up being, a guy that comes off the bench and leads that second unit. But I like the way that they're trending. I liked what he did in the time that, especially in the playoffs when they traded for him. So I like him a lot, and I have him at number 96, Ayo DeSumo.
I have a different Chicago Bulls guard here, former Chicago Bulls guard, I should say. I have Kobe White up here. I raise Ayo a little bit for his playoffs, particularly in the second round, or the first round, I should say. I think Kobe White, what he could do to add to the Charlotte Hornets offense, which is already super explosive, was really exciting to watch, and I think it'd be a good fit going forward if he does continue to stay there.
96, I have Davion Mitchell, another good role guy who supplements good offense, good on-ball defense. The advanced metrics won't tell you that his offense is too great, and that's really because he doesn't slot into Miami's system a whole lot, because he doesn't really get up a ton of shots. But he's somebody who can maintain low turnovers while maintaining a good amount of like on-ball usage, and he also provides a good amount for you on-ball defensively. So. And I think he's just a really good ball player overall. So at 96, I have Davion Mitchell.
Shout out to Davion Mitchell. That's my boy, Casey. Thanks for giving him love. I appreciate you. Number 95, I have Toumani Camara out of Portland. I think this is kind of anywhere he can range. I think anywhere between the 90s and honestly 70s. I really do like his defensive upside. He's an all-NBA type of defender. Yeah, I mean, you can see it when you watch him play for Portland. I thought Portland... they just had a group of guys that I liked this year. Even with Chauncey Billups, when they were poorly coached, I liked a bunch of their guys on their team. So this might seem low, but again, I think this could range anywhere between 90s and 70s. I think, especially when you consider his defensive upside.
I also have Toumani Camara at number 95, and I also like his ability as a shooter as well. 37% shooting from three. You take that.
For 95, I have Cam Johnson of the Denver Nuggets. Down season for Cam Johnson, statistically and individually in regards to his own counting stats. But he was still somebody who had a big hand in one of the best offensive ratings that we've seen in recent history. Still an elite shooter, still a smart on-ball player, somebody that won't really hurt you a ton, but some people may look at that as a flaw because he really doesn't have a super high ceiling in regards to performance. You're not going to get the booms that Michael Porter Jr. offered with Cam Johnson, but you're also not going to get the lows that Michael Porter Jr. would have with Cam Johnson. So that's where I'll land with Cam.
Funny you say that, Casey. He was my next man up. Exactly at number 94. I have Cam Johnson. Yeah, down here for him. I agree with everything you said. Was really hoping he would have provided a little bit more for them. Because I thought when they added him and then they added Oh gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Jeez, why am I? He's literally Valanciunas. Yeah, when they added him, Valanciunas, Tim Hardaway, I'm like, dude, the Nuggets have possibly the best roster, outside of the Thunder in the NBA. So I was a little bit disappointed to see, them kind of fluster out in the playoffs, especially in the first round. But again, Minnesota matches up with them so well. So we'll see how he bounces back this year.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Number 94, I have Alex Sarr. I like the second year small leap from him. A little bit up in points, a little bit up in rebounding, a little bit up in blocks, 2 blocks per game. And I'm very curious to see how that fit will be next year with Anthony Davis, who I know Eric has a lot of thoughts about. But obviously he's on just an absolutely dreadful team. But I'm curious to see how next year will go with, in theory, some more talent around them. Albeit that talent was super banged up this year.
Okay. At 94, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
94, I have Modest Buzelis. I think Modest is going to have a really good year with Chicago this year, upcoming. He did some really cool stuff this year, made some cool leaps as a shooter, as an on-ball player. He still kind of offers you randomly spotty defense, but his athleticism gives him it provides him a lot of grace in that manner because he can slide over as a rim protector. He provides a lot of length and space to get around on rebounds because he has such a large area that he can cover. I'm sure eventually he'll grow and climb this list, but right now I'll keep him down here.
My number 93 is a guy that Sid named not too long ago. I got Kobe White here. I like the scoring that he's going to provide from Charlotte moving forward. I thought he was big down the stretch. I only played 21 games for them, but in those 21 games, he shot nearly 40% from three. This is a guy that can go out there and get you, I think, anywhere between 15 and 20 points per game. He won them that play-in game versus Miami. He hit that huge shot to force OT, and then they ended up hanging on and winning. So it seems like what the trend here is a bunch of those clusters in Chicago with all the guards that they had, they're getting traded away and they're going to start flourishing somewhere else, like Ayo DeSumo and Kobe White. So we'll see if this keeps going.
At number 93, Casey, this is actually where I have Moussa Diabate. Even though like the counting stats aren't anything like, they don't like pop off the page, but I really just felt like his impact was really noticeable when Charlotte had that crazy turnaround, like that starting lineup and his on-offs just in general. I mean, they were like eye-popping, and I'm really excited to kind of see what they do going forward. Also kind of, for better or worse, I like kind of his like enforcer energy. I mean, that whole scuffle between him and Durham, just, like he plays a little bit of an edge. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's really, willing to put in the work in to kind of keep growing. And just in general, like on a Charlotte point, I'm very curious to see, obviously, they had, maybe if they don't play so bad for the first 35 games, they're probably a much higher seed based off of the pace that they're playing. I think that Diabate was a big part of that, and I'm very curious to see kind of next year how it all kind of plays out over a full 82, if they can kind of channel what he and everyone else kind of started to end this past season.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Diabate propaganda. I'll take it. I'm a fan of Diabate, so you having him higher than me, I respect that. At 93. I have the first entry from my own team. I have Casey and Wallace here at 93, which may sound a bit low to the casual fan, but I think Casey, of course, is very talented as a defender. He was All-NBA second team, I think, this year. Steals leader this year. Steal percentages are incredible, but he's yet to make a real offensive leap in a way that generally matters. He shot really well in the playoffs, but that is more of outlier shooting versus something I would like to see more consistency in regards to. And he had a bit of a stretch going into March, 15 or so games when Shea was out with a, I want to say it was like a sternum contusion or something like that, where he played really well. He averaged 17 a game, but that's more of a usage stat than it is like a Casey and Wallace growth stat. But hopefully, he is somebody that rises up this list very soon.
All right, so we are at number 92 now?
92.
All right, number 92. Had to give him some love. I think he's the perfect type of role player to have on your team. He's a shooter with size. Julian Champagnie, man. I think he's a guy that's going to continue to rise, whether they've set him up in spots. He was a sniper in the playoffs, man. He was a big part of that Spurs run. Look, I mean, maybe when you look at his game overall, you're like, okay, Like, is he realistically like a top 80 player? Maybe not, but the role that he has on his team and what he does with it, I think sparks my interest in him as a player. So that's where I have Julian Champagny at number 92.
All right, at number 92 is the first entry from someone on my team. I have Neemias Queta at number 92. I thought he had a really, really tough job this year. He had to kind of fill in the shoes of Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, and even Luke Kornet to an extent, where he was the fourth center on a championship team, and now he's coming to be the starter in a super uncertain year. I thought he really held on the fort in the regular season in particular. Great roller, good offensive rebounder, just really strong finisher. Like he has some great lobs. He also kind of started developing a little bit of an interesting hook game. The reason I can't really put him much higher, even though I would love to, is he has a tendency to make some pretty dumb mistakes. That's in the form of fouling, whether that's fouling on defensive rebounds 90 feet from the basket, from the opposing team's basket, I should say, whether that's setting illegal screens. He played himself off the court in the playoffs, and it's something that I was pretty disappointed in because he has all the physical gifts to be a really good center in this league and be higher on this list, but he's kind of, his own mental mistakes are kind of keeping him from that. And I trust that because he has the physical tools to do so, that he will eventually climb this list. But for now, this felt fair. And honestly, it's even to even be on this list in the first place after getting like 5 minutes a night barely even last year is a testament to the work he's put in. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do next year.
Yeah, not much. I think I had him second or third in my most improved rankings. He was awesome to watch this year, especially as a guy. I remember getting spot minutes for the Kings Summer League team. So I always love a good success story. At 92, I have DeJounte Murray. He's a bit of an older guard, kind of a jack of all trades, master of none sort of guy. There's not really like a lot of ups, super high moments with DeJounte, but you're not really getting a whole lot of super low dips either. He's just kind of like a solid player that exists now. Unfortunately, he's dealt with some lower leg injuries on the back half of his career, which is tampered his game a little bit because a good amount of his game was predicated on his athleticism. But I think DeJounte would be better suited for like a lesser usage role on a team that matters. So that's just kind of where I've landed on DeJounte.
Yeah, no, I think that's around the spot that I probably would have him. It was just hard for me to put him on the list just because the injury that he had with the Achilles last year and then playing 14 games. So I just went ahead and left him off. But I don't hate that ranking. He'd probably be around that same spot as well. Sid, Queta, good on you giving him some love. He was definitely, I considered him too as well, being around here.
Yeah.
My number 91 is somebody that you said a minute ago, Sid, Alex Sarr.
Okay.
And I feel like he kind of does everything like good, but not great, which I think is something that you want out of a player that is as young as him. And I guess the sample size isn't as big just because he played under 50 games this past year. But the games that he did play, I thought he was really well. I mean, he's a 7-footer. He kind of has that 3-and-D type of frame to him, and he can provide some shooting as well. But again, he also is averaging 2 blocks, so his defense wasn't too shabby as well. The Wizards were bad, and the limited time that he got to play and I got to watch him, I liked it. And I do think he was one of the brighter spots of that 2024 class. So, which a lot of people tend to hate on, but I think there's some players that definitely deserve some love, and Alex Sarr is one of them. So
I like it. At number 91, you'll notice a little bit of a trend here. I'm kind of going, this is like solid starting centers, kind of like it's like a little mini tier for me. I have a Donovan Clingan here. I liked a lot of what he brought this year. Monster on the offensive glass in particular, despite maybe not the greatest playoffs. I think that he has a lot of upside going forward. I think anytime you're averaging a double-double in your second year on a playoff team, pretty good start.
Yeah, I'm a lot higher on Donovan Clingan. I probably have him too high. I'm a victim of my own process. At 91, I have another Thunder guard. I have Alex Caruso. Again, probably a hot take, I guess, to have him this low given his playoff impact, but I do value the regular season. I value the amount of games played. I value what you're adding to a team during the first 82. And he's really just, he doesn't really show his hand in the regular season. And I guess I kind of have to punish him for that. I know he's older and I know that he is saving his body for playoff wars, but like I said before, I think that the regular season matters and has to play into effect in regards to a player ranking, or the player rankings would look entirely different. So with that said, 91 would be Alex Caruso.
Number 90, a guy that definitely has risen a lot. And again, with some of these guys, I watch him and I'm like, am I too low on him? And you'll just have to let me know. But this is where I have Ryan Rollins. I do think that, honestly, by the beginning of next year, especially we'll see what ends up happening with Giannis. I think this is a guy that can really turn into a great combo guard in this league. I feel like he has the length, he has the size to kind of really do a little bit of everything. And we kind of saw teases of that this year. Of course, Milwaukee was a team that lacked shot creation. I thought he filled in really well. He's really good on the catch and shoot. And I feel like his defensive activity is always just high motor. And I enjoyed watching him play. He's super efficient from 3-point. I think he's a guy that's only going to continue to get better. And again, I feel like you'll have to tell me, boys, but I feel like I'm too low on Ryan Rollins.
Yeah, I think Ryan will probably end up, based off my memory, in my top 50 or 60.
Yeah, fair enough.
I actually agree with you, Eric, but not fully agree with you because he is in the same general vicinity. This is where I have Lou Dort here. I know the shooting was not the same as it was last year, but despite that, he's still a tank on defense. He's still like a hound. He still had momentum threes that went down in the playoffs, and when those threes are going down, and in addition to what he can bring you defensively, those threes feel like an avalanche. They feel like a nightmare. And his defensive impact still is there. I'm very curious to see what OKC does with him, considering there's a team option, and him and Hardenstein both combined, considering the fact that OKC is close to the second apron concerns. And so I have Lou Dort here at number 90.
Did Lou Dort pay you for the propaganda or no?
I had to respect the defense, I know, but
let's slide you a check. At 90, I have Brandon Ingram. I'm just really not a big Brandon Ingram guy. I'm not really a fan of a ton of the stuff that he offers. Truthfully, I thought about omitting him from the list, but I still respect his ability to maintain an on-ball usage amount that is, like, I guess, attention-worthy. He's just kind of like a player that doesn't really fit or any mold in today's game because he's not like a superstar caliber talent in the areas that he likes to operate in. He really isn't that efficient of a mid-range scorer. He doesn't really offer you much as like an engine or a hub or anything that facilitates like next level offense. He's just kind of around. If I was to describe Brandon Ingram, I would say that his game is similar to like an even more disengaged Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant was like 50. So like,
I remember the KD comparisons he got early in his career too. And
yeah,
he just
which were ridiculous even at the time, because he's never shown that near that amount of on-ball talent. But I don't know, people look for superstars in everybody, so can't blame them.
My number 89. So we're back in the 80s. 89. I definitely have dropped this player over the years. And Casey, I mean, part of that is talking about it last podcast of the reasons why you're not really high on him. And I'm assuming based on you telling me that he's probably not even going to be on your list, period. But this is where I have Josh Hart. I don't really have too much to say about it.
I don't know if I have Josh Hart on here.
I mean, again, like, I think I just value his like versatility to like play different positions with his size. But again, like I feel like Landry Shamet really did take a lot of that role that he would have provided in the playoffs. So I don't know. I dropped him. And again, I might be a little bit too high on him. I was way too high on him when I made this list last year. So I definitely feel like 89 maybe isn't too much of a gamble.
No.
I'm actually a little bit. I hate Josh Hart as a Celtics fan, but I'm a little bit higher on him than you actually. But I mean, it's just, again, it's the same general tier. This is where I have Onyeka Okongwu from Atlanta. I like his ability to space the floor. I like his ability to impact that Atlanta team that took a nice leap this year. I like a lot of the pieces on that team actually, and so I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on where he is. If y'all have him higher, if you didn't crack y'all's list, if he's lower.
I don't think I have Onyeka on this list. I can't remember exactly. He does offer some cool stuff, though. He's a good rebounder, especially for his size, and him learning to space the floor is pretty cool. And they call him the 00 in Atlanta, so that's also pretty cool.
Yeah, he had a game this year where he hit like 8 threes. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. Like, I mean... So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that. Like, I vividly remember him playing that really random good game.
At 89 here, I have a Norman Powell. Again, another player who people believe is all-star caliber. I am not of that opinion. I think Norman Powell is a good microwave scorer. I think he offers positives as a shooter. But outside of that, it's just... He's like an off-ball shooter, but he's got some on-ball funk, and that's cool, but he doesn't really offer you much outside of that. Like, I think he only averaged, like, 2.5 assists a game and, like, 3 boards. So, like, you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit with Norman Powell. He's not too harmful on defense, but not anything that will wow you.
Yeah, a big part of his, like, breakout last year, too, was because of James Harden's playmaking, so, like, yeah. 88, I have Onyeka Okongwu, Sid, so right around kind of the same spot as you. Yeah, just kind of a weird spot. Didn't really know kind of where to put him, but I think he did just enough with the team in Atlanta to warrant being on this list, so that's where I have him.
Okay, yeah. At 88, I have Jabari Smith Jr., underrated player on that Houston Rockets team. I think he had a pretty good playoffs. I know Casey just crucified Paolo, but I mean, the theory behind Paolo was he would, he has all-star plus upside. Chet, is all-NBA third team, and you're not necessarily getting the upside that you might hope from Jabari Smith Jr. at number 3 overall, but I think you have a very solid role player and who can impact Houston hopefully for years to come.
Yeah, I think Jabari is somebody who will end up on a lot of lists like this just because he does offer a lot of like good tangible things that you would want, especially from somebody who is 6'11". He's a fine shooter. He's competitive defensively. His defensive metrics aren't too bad at all. So he's somebody who will be on a lot of lists. At 88, I have Derek Lively. I wouldn't normally have him this low because I think he's a really high impact big man, but it's just like constant injuries. And that's scary going forward. Did he even play like 15 games this year?
Dude, he played like 7 games this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what worries me. Like, this is a big prove it year. Like, I think like if you're telling me next year, Casey, he's going to be the 88th best player in the NBA, then I think we're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Derek Lively, he is really good, and he offers a lot of good stuff as a shot blocker and as a rebounder and as a not just a shot blocker, but somebody who is huge in the paint and offers that sort of like what that one ESPN post say about Wemby, the classic Nevermind.
Oh yeah,
Derek Lively offers some of that because he's so fluid as a big man. And I'm hoping he can shake back and stay away from these injuries, but for right now, I do have to unfairly judge him because he's not been able to be as healthy as I'd want him to be.
87, a guy that I think would probably be a better fit somewhere else, but honestly had like 6 man of the year recognition. Jaime Jaquez from the Heat. I do think that if he was a guy that were to get traded somewhere else, I think he could really flourish and you could see his game, get to the next level. I do think as a 3-point shooter, maybe he could be a little bit more efficient. So that's something I'm going to have to be watching. But for a guy that was coming off the bench and was in kind of a weird role in Miami, I thought he did pretty good with the situation he was in. So coming off the bench, I liked the production he gave. So Jaime Jaquez at number 87.
This one y'all may not necessarily agree with, and I'll explain kind of my thoughts here. Zach LaVine is one of the only guys who can score on a pretty dreadful Kings team. I mean, him and DeMar, I put them on here. DeMar's down the line. I know, outside of his, microwave scoring, there's not a whole ton there, but I still wanted to acknowledge that on a pretty dreadful team, he's still putting up about 20 a game. He didn't play as much as he did this year. I think he played 39 games. So not much to say, but y'all may not necessarily agree. I think I just wanted to acknowledge like what he did on a bad team that really struggled outside of one or two guys.
Yeah, I don't think I had him on my list.
Yeah, not only do I disagree, he didn't even make my top 125. So, so I guess that is passively agreeing. 87, I have Peyton Watson. The Denver Nuggets had a cool leap this year. Offensively, showed some more flashes, showed some more stuff, but he is kind of like the beneficiary of existing in an ecosystem that revolves around Jokic. You kind of have to judge players who surround themselves around these megastars carefully, unless they're clearly showing their own pop and impact. And I don't want to be too bullish on Peyton Watson just yet, even though he offers some good stuff. So I'll keep him low for right now, but I would like for him to prove me wrong. Sam Presti drafted him, by the way.
There you go. Yeah, he's coming up pretty soon for me. My number 86, I have Lou Dort. Just a weird spot to put him, but
more Lou Dort propaganda on this podcast, huh?
Again, I don't really have too much to say about it. Honestly, like if you want to take him off the list completely, fair enough, especially after this year, but. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think he's one of those guys where, like, I don't know, maybe you get him somewhere else. Like, he's just one of those guys on the team that's just like, oh my goodness, we got to play Lou Dort. Maybe for the right or wrong reasons. So,
yeah.
All right, at number 86, this is where I have the sixth man of the year, Keldon Johnson. Man, what a rough go at it in the playoffs. Made me reconsider where I had him, but the regular season, I think I like his ability to get downhill. His shot's kind of funky, but I mean, it has a funny way of like you can tell right off of his hand if it's going in or not. He had a little bit too much tunnel vision, in my opinion, in the playoffs, kind of just driving kind of recklessly into OKC or into the Knicks defenders in the paint, kind of just throwing up BS, So I would have liked a little bit more control from him, a little bit more assertiveness from him. But overall, he had a really good regular season, and I don't want to. This is kind of what I was telling you before, Eric. I counted for the playoffs, but I didn't want to just absolutely crucify you just for that. And I wanted to consider the regular season as well in all of this.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't even on my list, so I didn't really crucify him. I guess I just wasn't as high on him to begin with. I think there's more guys in that San Antonio role that do things better than him. And in the playoffs, it kind of just showed me that like he's kind of just the guy that's there. But again, like credit to him, he did win sixth man of the year. Even if I disagree, if he should have been, like regardless, like what good for him. So.
Fun fact about Keldon Johnson. Eric, do you remember a girl we went to high school with her name was Taylor? She was a grade above us. I think she played golf.
Oh, gosh. The only Taylor I remember is Taylor Crow. Do you remember that name?
I do remember Taylor Crow, but wrong.
Yeah, that's the only Taylor I can think of that was a girl.
Yeah, we went to a high school with a girl named Taylor who was a grade above us. She had a little sister who was a grade below us.
Okay.
And her best friend is cousins with Keldon Johnson, first cousins.
Oh, wow. Okay, do you remember a name Taylor Anderson? Actually, I remember a girl named Taylor Anderson.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
She was in our grade. Her
Yes.
cousin is Max Crosby. Fun fact.
Oh.
Yeah. Just thought about that, which is actually really
back then. I was high on him when he was at Eastern Michigan. I'm pissed. At 86, I have somebody who has certainly slid for me in comparison to last year. I have Ivica Zubac. I'm interested to see how he'll blend with Halliburton next year. He's not like the typical center that I would put next to Halliburton. I would want somebody who's more of like a rim runner, somebody who is more athletically capable and fluid. But I'm thinking they'll utilize him as kind of like a screen merchant for Halliburton and just allow him to operate like the wizard he is. So Ivica offers cool stuff on defense. He's a good rebounder, but he's very, I won't say limited on offense. His just he doesn't operate with a wide repertoire. So 86 is where I'll keep Ivica Zubac.
These next two for me are unks of the NBA, I guess you could say. So you might have a guess of who's coming up here, but I have DeMar DeRozan, mid-range god. Honestly, I admire his consistency. I don't know if he's on your list, Casey, but I just kind of admire the fact that he's been able to play at a good level. Maybe not an all-star level, but a solid enough level. Credit he's on the Kings now to where, like, you know, DeMar DeRozan will have a game every now and then where I'm like, oh wow, he's still playing pretty well. So I give him respect in that regard.
Yeah, I'm in a similar tier with DeMar DeRozan, as I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. At 85, Eric, this is where I had Emmanuel Quigley. I wanted to give him props for his shooting ability, and him and Scotty averaged the same number of assists per game, but he had a higher assist to turnover ratio. And so I commend him for that. He missed the playoffs this year. I wonder if he could have swung that Cavs series, and if he swung that Cavs series, then maybe it's Detroit who makes the conference finals this year instead, or maybe Toronto is able to go on a run themselves. Who knows? Because they pushed the Cavs to 7.
Yeah, Emmanuel Quigley is a good player. I don't think he made my list, but his existence is cool. So shout out to Emmanuel Quigley. At 85, I do have an older player here. It's kind of scary to place him, just considering. But at 85, I have Damian Lillard. It's really hard for me to rank these older guards who are coming off of bigger, scarier injuries, whose game is predicated on scoring. But I still have faith in Dame, especially as a shooter and somebody who will be able to operate fluently just because he's a veteran. He's played with all types of different players and all types of different talent, and it's not like he's going to have trouble acclimating to Portland because he was there for the first 11 years of his career. So I'm not sure where he'll land or how he'll perform in the upcoming season, but I'll keep him in the lower half. Yeah, certainly the lower half of this list for right now.
At number 84, certainly another unk that I'm probably a little bit too high on. It probably isn't on your list at all, but again, I think it just comes for respect. And I thought last year his career was completely cooked, but Paul George showed me enough last year to where, again, I'm like, all right, you know what? I thought you were done. I thought you were cooked. But you know what? You still have a little bit left in the tank. You're not going to be an all-star, but you still provide that two-way presence that I like. And, a couple years ago, this dude, was like, I always favored him, even though the stats didn't say it. To me, he was the best shooting guard in the league when he played in LA, like in 2021, 2022, that range. I favored him over guys that were producing at a higher level in the playoffs, like Devin Booker or maybe Donovan Mitchell. A lot of people maybe would have been higher than those guys on paper, but I always favored Paul George over those guys. So always a guy that I've had respect for.
Do you know what's really annoying, Eric? That
you have Paul George here at 84?
No, that Paul George decided to pick a 7-game stretch, turned back into a pretty fun-looking, pretty impactful player.
Mm-hmm.
He was nailing some pretty tough shots in that Celtics series, Similar tier for me is where I had him. 84 is where I had Jaime Jaquez, a guy who I honestly probably should have won Sixth Man of the Year. I thought he was going to win it until Kelton Johnson kind of had that late push, in the media late in the year. Good drive game.
I wonder why he had that media push.
Oh man, that's so funny. But Jaquez also has a very interesting post-ish kind of game. He kind of plays well low, closer to the paint. It's very interesting. Mm-hmm. He has a funny way of on his drives looking like he's so out of control, but it's he knows exactly where he's going, and it's very interesting looking, but it works. He's a very interesting player. Let's see if he's on the Miami Heat in about a week, or if he's up in Milwaukee by chance. So we'll kind of have to see how that all plays out. But I don't like him because he's on the Heat, but I think he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, I certainly thought that he was going to win Sixth Man of the Year, but the Spurs, they've got a good hold on the league right now. Fair to them. Shout out to them for that. At 84 right here, I have Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew. He is an incredible defender. He is learning to space the floor, I guess I should say. What puts him this high for me is the defensive impact, though, and he doesn't seem to be afraid of fighting anybody, which is also pretty funny. And maybe my bias for entertainment is blinding me in that aspect, but I think Isaiah Stewart's defensive metrics speak enough on their own for him to justifiably be here.
This next player, I don't know, like the stats will tell you otherwise, but just watching him, I think he could benefit being a guy that could consistently come off the bench. I don't know how I really feel about RJ Barrett at this point, Casey, Sid. I mean, to me, I feel like he's kind of in that weird range, good to like average. Watching him in that playoff series, he shouldn't be a guy that's playing 40 minutes a game in a playoff series. Like, I just don't think he's that type of player. A lot of the times he was playing high minutes for the Raptors in that playoffs. And I'm like, dude, like get him off the court. Like he's out there shooting bricks. He's not that efficient, and he doesn't provide enough to me on the defensive side for me to be like, okay, he's a guy that deserves that much usage. So I think 83 is fair. Again, it might be a little too high too. I was obviously higher on him about a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you, but he had some high highs and some low lows in that playoff series. Including, of course, the game winner. But the last couple of games, he was a little bit inefficient. So I'm a little bit higher. I did give him a little bit of a bump as a result. At 83 is where I have Jalen Suggs. Like, again, really strong defender, but my goodness. Like, I cannot believe his inability to stay healthy. But second off, like, having watched that Gonzaga shot live, and like I have that video on my camera, him just absolutely nailing that half-court shot against UCLA. His inability to shoot is beyond me. There's bad, and there's what he did in Game 6 against the Pistons, where he scored 20 points, 25 points in the second half, or whatever the case it was. I mean, the idea of him, I think, is a lot higher than this, but my goodness, the offense is just so inconsistent, and the constant health question with not just him, but really Orlando in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait till we get to Suggs. He's pretty high for me. At 83, I have Mitchell Robinson. We know what Mitchell Robinson is. He's there to lock down other teams' best offensive big men, and he offers a ton, especially as an offensive rebounder. He's a really good offensive rebounder. He's kind of like a defensively slanted new gen Steven Adams in that regard. He's just a pretty straightforward player, though. He's found his niche, and he'll stick with it for the rest of his career.
One of the better guys to guard Wemby too. He gave Wemby some problems for sure. He was in that tier of kind of like guys that I considered, specifically with his role too. I gave him a lot of credits. 82, this is where I had Peyton Watson. I agreed with what you said, Casey. I just had him a little bit higher. Great year for him. We'll see if he is is he still on his rookie contract, or is he what is his?
I think he's a restricted free agent.
Okay. So we'll see if he gets the big bucks this offseason. We'll see.
This is where I have Dyson Daniels, another elite defender. It's weird. He took half the number of threes last year, which is still not a lot, but shot 18% from three, which is kind of funny. But I mean, again, just truly an elite defender. Not much else to be said. I mean, I value his defense.
We at 82?
Yes, 82.
Yeah, 82.
At 82, I'll kind of give another scared where to rank them due to injury spiel. I have Kyrie Irving here at 82. I am terrified of how he will look coming off an ACL as a player whose game is really predicated on a lot of his side-to-side bend and side-to-side mobility. I have no doubt that he will retain his ability to shoot and process and score. I would just be interested to see how it looks next to Flag in an adjusted role with new players coming in, new coaches. Dallas is rumored to be making some sort of off-season move. So I'll be interested to see where Kyrie goes. But and the reason I put him higher than Dame is an ACL isn't as serious as an Achilles pop. So
dude, amen to that.
Yeah,
amen to that.
We're ranking them.
Yeah, I'm a little worried too. I'm hoping that what we end up doing at number 9 can maybe take some pressure off of Kyrie this year, but I'm kind of at that point where I don't know. It might be the wrong mindset to have, Casey, with him, but it might just be because I don't really expect too much for this Mavs team the next few years. I'm okay with Kyrie just being like an average player at this point. Like, I'm not expecting him to come back and be like a 25 and a 50, 40, 90 shooter anymore. Maybe he will be. Maybe he can prove me wrong, but I'm not going to, if he doesn't do that, I'm not going to be like, man, it's sad to see the fall off of Kyrie. Like, I'm kind of at that point where, like, I'm kind of accepting that he's at the end of his career. Right. So I didn't rank him just because I haven't seen him in over a year, so I didn't really know where to put him. At 81, I have Donovan Clingan. I was a little surprised by your ranking, Sid. I'm sure Casey probably even has him even higher. But yeah, I like Klingan's game a lot, and a big part of that Portland team who just continues to get better. He can hit the three if you give him, if you leave him open, he'll hit the three too. So I think he has a wide variety of different weapons and different things he can use, and this is a dude that definitely was up there and leading the league in rebounding, and I think that will continue moving forward for his career. So
this is where I have Peyton Watson. I really liked what he did in that month when Jokic didn't play. I thought he had a really strong month, really strong showing. Again, it's a shame. I mean, that Denver team was really snake bitten by injuries this year. Hamstrings in particular, him and Gordon in particular. He's a guy that I'm very interested to see how he kind of continues to grow, because Denver really needs a good core of young guys to kind of step up and help this thing kind of go in the future, because they're going to have some concerns with their salary. So hopefully he's a little bit luckier next year with his injuries.
Yes, it always sucks to see any injury, let alone injuries prohibited an elite team from doing what you're wanting to do. But like Aaron Gordon especially, he's one of my favorite players to watch. It always sucks to see him struggle with injuries. At 81, I have Denny Avdija from Portland.
Oh,
I am not a fan of Denny. I think Denny's game is very predicated on reckless downhill driving. When he drives, he doesn't really tend to have a plan. He's extremely turnover prone. He doesn't really offer you a ton in regards to his passing, despite what his assist numbers may say. They're not really efficient. He's not really getting anybody any buckets efficiently. A lot of players on Portland's metrics are better when he's off the floor. His defense has slipped a ton because of the O-load that he's put on, which I guess you can give him grace for, but I'm not going to for obvious reasons. He's not going to get a whole lot of compliments out of me. I'm not a fan.
Wow, that one shocked me. That's crazy. Yeah, because a lot of people would definitely have him probably in the top 30, I would say. But it's always good to see somebody else's perspective. This is a guy that, again, Unk has been around for a while, just missing out of the 70s and in the 80s. This is where I have Tobias Harris. I thought he provided some pretty good veteran leadership for Detroit this past year. Whether he was, the number 2 on some nights or he was the number 5 on some nights. I think he's that guy that kind of like Najee Marshall, like if he's your 5th or 6th option on a team, maybe coming off the bench, you're probably in a good position. But I don't like the fact that some nights he had to score as much as he did in the playoffs for Detroit. He's just a little bit older. I mean, I am still amazed that he's a guy that can still go in there and play 60 to 70 games a year, given that he's been in the league for so long.
Yeah, Detroit has some things to kind of consider to help give Cade a little bit of easier time. Number 80, I have Devin Vassell. I liked a lot of what he brought, especially in the playoffs. Hit a lot of really ballsy shots, Some of them probably are bad shots, right? Like, you're like, oh, I don't know if he should have pulled that, but a lot, he's a great shooter. He has some really good defensive plays at the rim. He had, especially, he had some good strips. I was actually kind of lower on him coming into the year. I was like, he might be one of the guys that I'm not so sure about on that team, but I mean, he really had a good season. I thought he had a good showing in the playoffs. I thought he had some really good moments throughout their run, and yeah.
Yeah, that's somebody who missed out on my list just barely, just because I wasn't really sure where his game could go from where it's at right now. He just kind of seems to be at the peak of his powers. It's not like he's just going to randomly generate a bunch of on-ball juice. It's not like he's going to yank up his 3-point volume. I guess he could step it up defensively, and he showed to do that in the playoffs, but I doubt that becomes like a full-blown regular season thing. At 80 is where I had Paul George. he's awesome now in a lower usage role. The injuries were scary, and then like the PED stuff was weird. But strangely enough, a very elite on-ball defender. That Celtics series was kind of tailor-made for him to like revitalize his game, being the primary matchup on Jaylen Brown, who I'm not the biggest fan of. But
oh god,
it'll be interesting to see how Paul George operates going further, especially with the size of his contract. I wonder if Philly is going to offer him anything cheaper and more short term. I think he has a player option, so I have no doubt that he'll opt in until that ends. But for 80 right now is where I'll have Paul George.
Okay, 79, I had Devin Vassell. Agree with everything you guys said.
Okay, 79's where I had Ryan Rollins.
79 is where I have Brandon Miller.
Ooh. Okay. 78, I'm surprised you didn't have him as high as I was thinking. This is where I have Casey Wallace. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be really big for you guys next year.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming up later for me. 78's where I have Andrew Nembhard.
78 is where I have Jarrett Allen.
77 is where I have Andrew Nembhard.
Okay, wow, almost got it. 77 is Paul George for me.
77 is Ja Morant for me.
Ooh.
Couldn't rank him, but I don't hate it at all. 76 is where I have Josh Giddey.
I have Josh Hart here, different Josh.
76, I have Desmond Bane.
Oh my goodness! Wow, yeah, that. I mean,
wow.
Again, I expected a little bit more from him, but I don't hate it. 75 is where I have, who did I have here? Oh yeah, this is where I have Alex Caruso.
75, I have your boy, Eric, PJ Washington.
Oh wow, you have him in the top 100. Wow.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't, actually.
Yeah,
we don't have to keep
just
talking about PJ Washington. We don't have to keep talking about PJ Washington. So.
Sid, it's really just the up and down ankle injuries because dude, I feel like he wasn't even playing 100% this year.
Okay.
And I hope him and Flag can work out, but I don't hate it. He's definitely probably in that range if he's fully healthy.
I mean, y'all's wings are in a good spot with him, Flag, and Marshall. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
In theory.
Okay.
75, I have Tyler Hero.
Ooh, nice. Interesting.
I'm higher on Tyler Hero for probably the wrong reasons, but we'll see there in a little bit. 74. This is where I have Drew Holiday.
Okay. 74. I have Rui Hachimura, absolute sniper in the playoffs, especially.
Yeah, he deadass did not miss against OKC.
Yeah, bro.
Was actually kind of
He didn't miss.
74. I have Ty Jerome.
Oh, yeah. He didn't play enough for me, but yeah, he was so good with the Cavs last year. Like 2 years ago, I guess you could say now.
Mm-hmm.
73, I have Isaiah Hartenstein.
Okay. 73, this is where I had Ayo Dosunmu. I bumped him a little bit for his playoffs. I thought he did a good job.
73, I have Drew Holiday.
Oh, there we go. Nice. 72, you guys are going to like this one. I know Sid isn't going to like it. This is where I have Peyton Pritchard.
That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. 72 is where I have RJ Barrett. I thought, oh wait. Did I say him twice?
No, you didn't. You didn't say
no.
him.
Oh, no, we just talked about RJ Barrett. Okay, yeah. 72 is where I have RJ Barrett. I was worried I put him twice.
72, I have Dyson Daniels.
Okay.
71 is where I have Tyler Hero. So I'm actually not as high, not too high on him. I definitely dropped him from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Similar ballpark for me. 71 is where Eric, have DeMar DeRozan, mid-range assassin.
Okay.
71 is where I have Colin Gillespie.
Oh, interesting.
I considered him for sure. He's definitely an underrated player for sure. 70 is where I have Jarrett Allen.
70, I'm surprised I'm the highest on him. Casey and Wallace.
I appreciate that.
Of course, yeah, he's a good player. Hell of a player.
Shannon will have him in the 20s.
Probably, dude.
We'll work out a trade. I want Pritchard. At 70, I have Alex Sarr.
Oh, okay. I like it.
I'm glad you're higher on him. 69, nice. This is where I have Norman Powell. I definitely dropped him a lot after this past year.
Oh, y'all aren't going to like where I have Norman Powell. That's okay. 69 is where I have CJ McCollum. I got to give him props for what he did in New York, man. He had a good playoffs.
69. This is very intentional because of his celebration when he gets and ones. I have Joel Embiid.
Fair enough.
He likes to do the DX crotch chop.
68. 68. I can't put him any higher to justify it. Brandon Ingram.
68. I have Naz Reid.
68. I have AJ Mitchell.
Oh, 67 is where I have AJ Mitchell.
6'7".
6'7".
67. I have your boy Eric Dylan Harper. What a playoff run.
We don't have to talk about Dylan Harper either, bro. God, we don't have to keep talking about players who did the Thunder dirty. We don't have to keep doing it.
Funny enough, Sid, when I made this rankings before the playoffs, I had him at 66, but I have risen him up a little bit, which he's coming up pretty soon.
Okay.
Is it, Casey, who was your 67?
67, right? I have Domantas Sabonis.
Okay, yeah. Another guy that I consider a bit hard to rank with injuries. 66. This might feel a little low given that the season that he had scoring wise, but this is where I have Michael Porter Jr.
66. This is where I have AJ Mitchell, so we all just missed each other on AJ Mitchell.
66. I have Trae Young.
Thanks for giving him love. He's not on my list, but thanks for giving him love. 65 is where I have Dyson Daniels.
65. I got my boy Peyton Pritchard.
Okay, so I wasn't too low.
That's what I was saying. I was like, he's like a top 70, 75-ish player. I was like, I can't go much higher. I mean, I can't be that biased,
I'm actually kind of high on Pritchard compared to y'all.
I'll take
65, it. I have Michael Porter Jr.
Okay, so that wasn't too far off of where I had him. 64, Sid, you definitely surprised me with this, and it looked like, but by the look that Casey got, he's probably going to be really high. This is where I have Asar Thompson.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I just thought he was a little bit one-dimensional, but I mean, that's just my thing. I mean, I still think he's a hell of a player. 64, this is where I have Drew Holiday.
Okay.
64, I have Jalen Duren.
Okay, yeah. The playoffs. You got to step it up, Duren. You got to give us more.
Can't just be pretty, bro.
Yeah. 63, another guy that Casey, I'm very curious to see where you have him, but this is where I have Jalen Suggs.
We'll get there. We'll get there, bro. I promise.
63. Oh, sorry, my bad. 63. I got Mikal Bridges, NBA champion.
63. I have Isaiah Hartenstein.
62. You guys are gonna like this. I need to see more. I have Colin Knippel at 62.
Oof.
Interesting.
In a spot that you're not gonna like.
Oh gosh.
I'm high on him as well, but not that high. Probably, I think. 62. This is where I have Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey is not seeing my list. 62. I have VJ Edgecombe.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay.
61 is where I have VJ Edgecombe.
61, I got Jared Allen. I think I'm the highest on Allen out of y'all three. Or y'all two, I should say.
61, I have Lauri Markkanen.
Okay. Yeah, he's coming up.
Yeah.
And 60, I think Dylan Harper is the second best rookie in this class. I have him over VJ and Colin Knippel.
That's fine. 60, this is where I have Tyler Hero. Now, if the Bucks value Tyler Hero as much as maybe I do compared to y'all three, looks like Giannis might be in South Beach by next Tuesday.
60 is where I have Dylan Harper Jr. as well.
Okay.
All right,
he's just a Harper.
Dylan Harper, Ron Harper Jr. is on the Celtics.
Yeah, he's
there you go.
Dylan
there you
Harper,
go.
I have at 60.
Making his way into the 50s, I got Desmond Bane at 59. Definitely a drop off from last year.
This guy would have probably been in the 70s or the 80s, but Jesus Christ, man, what he did in the Western Conference Finals, man, Alex Caruso at 59. I understand. I get it. But golly, if you do it one time, all right, in the playoffs, that's one thing. To do it again, back-to-back years, he is a 16-game player. I have to give him his props. It's unreal what he does in the playoffs. I mean, I was watching the Spurs series with our boy Victor, Casey, and every time that Reggie Miller's a Captain Chaos after he made a three, he was losing his mind.
It's fair. You're right. He is a 16-game player. 59, I have Dylan Brooks.
He's coming up. He's coming up for me too. Okay, 58 is where I have Zubac. Definitely disappointing, especially that he was a guy that I'm like, oh my goodness, is this dude a top 5 center in the league after last year? I just think the fit with Indiana I question, but we'll see once Halliburton gets back how it works out.
58 is where I had Dylan Brooks. That's why I made that face. I was like, oh, we're so close.
58 is where I have De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, nuked him. Fair enough. 57 is where I have Dylan Brooks. We all went 3 in a row right there. That's funny.
Wow.
We did with AJ Mitchell too. 57 is where I have Isaiah Hardenstein.
57 is where I have Peyton Pritchard.
Respect.
Okay, so you're the most high on him out of all of us, which fair enough.
Respect.
56 is where I have, and a hard guy to rank, which I don't know how you guys feel about Zion at 56, but
I'm higher on Zion.
I am higher on Zion, but not by much. 56, you might like this, Eric. I have Keontae George here.
I do like it. I do like it a lot. I don't know.
I thought he would.
I wonder if Casey is high on him, but I guess it doesn't look by the looks of it. And what we talked about.
I didn't think so.
I just know I know Casey's philosophy at this point. I had a feeling he wasn't high on Keontae George.
Yeah, I'm not the offense and the highlights are cool, but the defense is too harmful for me to care. 56, I have Andrew Nembhard.
I like it. Respect. I mean, he killed us in 2024.
The real second option on the Charlotte Hornets, my boy Brandon Miller.
Same. 55, Brandon Miller. I don't like him from his time at Bama. Obviously, me and Eric were at that game, but...
Oh, yeah, we hated him.
But goddamn, can he shoot? Can he play?
55, I have Draymond Green.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So you still value the defense a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Casey, I'm a little bit lower on him. I know Sid's going to have him way higher, but this is where I have Trey Murphy, just a hard spot to rank.
Yeah.
And see, this is why I was like, I don't know how this is where I have Norm Powell. I just respect his ability to score on a Miami offense that needs shooting. I respect his ability. I just respect his ability as a scorer. So this is where I have Norman Powell.
At 54, I have Jaden McDaniels.
He's coming up for me as well. Coming up for me is 53. I have Naz Reid. Definitely a guy that I would want to be on the Mavs, and I'm higher on him than you are, Sid.
Yeah, you are. It's a good point. I mean, not by a lot. Maybe like 10 or 15. Probably, I think 15 spots. 53 is where I have Michael Porter Jr. I just, even though it's, on a bad team, I mean, he got to kind of really, show out this year, which is pretty cool to see.
53, I have Keyshawn George in Washington.
Yeah, dude, he's a great player. I considered him for for sure. 50. Wait, what are we on?
2.
I'm sorry, I forgot.
52.
52. This is where I have Julius Randle.
Coming up. 52. I got Aaron Gordon. It's a shame he can't stay healthy at this point.
52 is where I also have Julius Randle.
Oh wow, okay. This one's going to be a little bit of a hot take, but I don't know about the fit. We'll see. 51, I have Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's severely overrated, but that's another conversation for another day.
I forgot to rank him. I always do this once. That's okay. Well, I'll just say I didn't rank him then, I guess. I don't know. 51, I'm a little higher on him than y'all. It was hard for me to rank him, figure out where to put him. I didn't want to put him too high because of, it's a new year. Didn't want to drop him too much. This is where I put Zubac.
51, I have Anthony Black.
Oh.
Great player for sure. Okay, so 50, just missing out, or just putting right in the top 50, Aaron Gordon at 50. I think this is a good spot for him, given the injuries.
Talk about talking the talk and then walking the walk. How about Jaden McDaniels at number 50 and what he did to the Denver Nuggets?
Yeah, I mean, I can only respect him dunking the ball at the end of that game. Devin Vassell did it to the Thunder.
So funny.
Stings a little bit as a fan, but if you don't want him to do it, don't let him win.
That's true.
At 50, I have Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
He's coming up for me as well. At 49, another player that I think is overrated. I need to see more. Franz Wagner, you were a bucket your first few years. What happened?
Yeah. Nikhil Alexander-Walker's coming up for me as well. I agree. I mean, Franz, he just forgot how to shoot. It's kind of weird. I have his controversial teammate here. I have Banchero here at 49. I had to drop him. I did not drop him as much as probably Casey did, but that's okay.
Yeah. Probably very few did, to be fair.
Yeah.
At 49, I have Asar Thompson.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Oh, funny enough, at 48, I have Amin Thompson.
He's coming up. This is where I have Zion, Eric. It's good to see him healthy at 48.
At 48, I have Alperen Şengün.
Oh, okay. He's coming up as well.
At 47, I have Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I don't know why I was about to say Nikola Jokic.
At 47, I had to drop him for his lack of shooting this playoffs. It's my boy, but fix your jump shot, Derek White.
Oof. I've got Derek White in a spot.
Uh-oh.
Oh, gosh.
For 47, I have Jalen Johnson.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like a victim, or not a victim, a beneficiary of usage.
46 is where I have Lauri Markkanen.
Me too. 46, I got Laurie as well.
Nice. Let's go, Sid.
Let's go.
46, dude. I have Ryan Rollins.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so you're higher on him than all of us. 45 is where I have De'Aaron Fox. I definitely dropped him a lot.
I have him a little bit higher, but same idea. 45, I got Darius Garland. He should be higher, but had a weird year coming off his, kind of an injury year from hell type of year. But this is where I have him.
And the funny thing, the most I just want to jump in real quick. The most the most contradictory thing that I did in this whole podcast was have De'Aaron Fox at 45 and Dylan Harper at, where did I have him?
60?
60. I don't think De'Aaron Fox is better than Dylan Harper, but I think it was just the way it works out. Like, it's like, it'd be too recency biased. Obviously, if I'm doing my top 100 going into next season, I'm putting Dylan Harper way up there and De'Aaron Fox there. So just given, it wouldn't have been fair to have, I think I had De'Aaron Fox like 33 before the playoffs started. And I dropped him to 45, and I had Dylan Harper at like 60 or like 70 something, and I dropped him to 60. So I feel like just based on the jump and everything, it would have been unfair to do that. So
at 45, coming off of a weird year, I have Jaren Jackson Jr., who I think is certainly better than the 45th best player in the league, but he just had too weird of a year for me to judge correctly.
Fair enough. 44. I don't know if you guys are going to like this. I have Sengun at 44.
That's okay. I mean, Joseph.
Yeah, I had Sengun lower than you. I had Sengun at 48, I think.
Oh, okay.
So
44 is where I have Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Hell of a year.
At 44, I have Rudy Gobert.
He's coming up. 43, another guy that I had to milk, Paolo Banchero. And surprisingly, I end up having him higher than all of y'all.
Yeah. 43, I think I have him higher than all of you guys. He was the leading scorer in the regular season for them. This is where I had Brandon Ingram. He had a rough playoffs, no doubt about it. But
He did. He really did.
43, I have James Harden.
42, I was higher on him last year. And I thought, given the situation he was when he did get traded, he played pretty well. But Darius Garland at 42.
Okay, we're close.
I know. I'm pretty sure Casey's pretty high on this guy, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm a little higher on Garland.
Yeah, I would have been if he had been healthier. I think he would have been a top 25 kind of guy. 42 is where I have Rudy Gobert, Eric.
Okay.
42 is where I have Amen Thompson.
I think I had him at 40 before. I dropped him a little bit because he's at 48. 41 is where I have Rudy Gobert, Sid.
Okay. 41, like you insinuated, Eric, I am the highest on Trey Murphy. I have him at 41.
41, I have LeBron James.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's hard with LeBron.
Fair.
It's hard with LeBron. I don't.
It's just tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, just missing out of the top in the 30s. This is where I have Keontae George.
Okay. A little bit higher than me. 40 is where I have Amen Thompson, so we almost would have had another identical one, Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, no, crazy.
40 is where I have OG Anunoby.
I am close on that one.
Who I would probably put higher if I redid this.
Yo, yeah, I mean, based on the freaking finals, it was crazy. 39, I have another Nick, Mikal Bridges.
Oh wow, you're way higher than I was.
Yeah.
I have a former Nick, and for the love of God, give Anthony Edwards a better second option. I have Julius Randle.
39, I have Cooper Flagg.
I like
It's a fair spot. 38, I have Jalen Duren. Definitely knocked him a little bit from the playoffs.
38, I have Desmond Bane.
38, I have Zion Williamson.
Okay, so you're the most high out of all of us.
I like it.
37, yeah, I dropped him a little bit, but now that I'm kind of thinking about it, maybe I'm a little bit too harsh on him. I don't know. What do you guys think about Austin Reeves at 37?
That's fine.
I don't mind that at all.
I'm a little bit higher, but not much.
Reeves for me.
37, Eric, this is where I have De'Aaron Fox.
37 is where I have Stephon Castle.
Ooh, close to me.
He's coming up as well. 36 is where I have Derek White. Dropped him quite a bit from the jump shooting. I know Casey's smiling because I'm very interested to see where he has Derek White, but I value the two-way play a lot now thinking about it because I think when I originally saw him like chucking up some bricks, I'm like, I got to drop this dude to like the 60s. And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't find it in myself to do it. I just think he's way too impactful as a player on a championship team. So I have him at 36.
I love Derek White. Eric, you know how much I've talked about Derek White propaganda. You know from 2023. It's just, if he had shot what he had shot in the regular season in that Sixers series, we would have won the series. And I understand he is so impactful. He does all the little things that you ask someone to do. But at the end of the day, man, it's a make or miss league. And there was just way too many moments when he took the full 6 games basically off. He had a great first half of Game 7, and the second half of Game 7 was rough again. It's just, I respect it. I respect both of y'all for having him higher than I did. But I mean, I couldn't get there.
We're at 36.
Yeah, sorry. I have to
36.
jump in real quick. I have OG Anunoby here at 36.
So much respect. God, I should have put him higher. I'm pissed at myself. 36, I have Austin Reeves.
Okay, so not too far off of where I had him. No. Okay. 35, weird spot, but again, injuries, and we'll see how he comes off that ACL tear. Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I didn't break him.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
I had no clue what to do with him.
Yeah.
Mostly because I just completely forgot, but also because I forgot he was playing well for the start. I just didn't think about him. He would probably be in this area, maybe a little higher. 35 is where I have Steph Castle.
35 is where I have Darius Garland.
Okay, yeah. 34 is where I have Joel Embiid, which ironically enough, he played the same amount of games as Jimmy Butler this year, which if you would have told me that going into the season, I would have called you crazy. But
yeah. Jimmy's a sneaky injury guy, so I will say. 34 is where I have Sengun. I guess I have the highest out of him.
34, I have Aaron Gordon.
Okay, so you're higher on him. 33 is where I have Jaden McDaniels. I'm very high on him as a player. I do think that he's one of those guys that you definitely want on your team. I think based on my rankings, he's the second best player on the Timberwolves, in my opinion. So
fair enough. I have Jaren Jackson Jr. at 33.
33, I have Donovan Clingan.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay. You're seeing the vision.
He just aligns a lot with my process. He's also on a super good contract. He's very young. Lots of room to grow as an offensive player. The defensive metrics are obviously off the charts, and he's a great rebounder, and he's only going to get better, barring injury. So
I like him a lot.
32, I have Stephon Castle.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
32, I used to think this guy was not really a winning player, kind of a gimmick guy, but hey, he had a pretty good year. LaMelo Ball.
32. 32. I have Concanipple.
Wow. Okay. 31, I have James Harden.
31, I have Concanipple.
31.
Dang, my ranking is so much off from him than y'all's.
No, you're good.
Bam Adebayo is is who I have in my 31st spot.
Okay, fair. That's a good spot. 30, I have LaMelo Ball.
Okay. Eric, this is what I was telling you. 30 is where I have Cooper Flag. I feel like it's a very safe spot. I think that he can very easily climb into probably the top 15 next year. I would not be shocked at all.
I'm very interested. So Casey had Casey has Con above Cooper Flag. Okay. I see.
had him winning Rookie of the Year too.
That hurts me, but different conversation, different day. 29, I have OG Anunoby. I mean, I'm sorry, I had to propel him, and you call it recency bias all you want, but I just think the impact, what he was when I watched him play in the playoffs, there's not. Oh, did I skip you again?
No, I think we're at 30.
No, I had LaMelo Ball at 30.
I had Cooper Flag at 30.
Oh, I just wasn't listening. That's on me, guys. That's on me.
Did you skip a player that you needed to say?
No. 30 was Franz Wagner for me.
Okay. So anyways, OG Anunoby, again, when I watched him play in the playoffs, I'm like, you can't name me 30 guys better than that player. Obviously it'd be a stretch to say top 20, I think, but I don't know. I value the fact that he was going to win finals MVP up until that last game where Jalen Brunson said, psych, give me it. But I have a lot of respect for OG Anunoby.
29, yeah. Honestly, well, what a finals run. What a playoff run. I mean, he was incredible. 29, I got your boy, Eric. I wish he would be a little bit more consistent, assertive. Wish he had a little bit more killer in him. I got Evan Mobley here. On offense, I'm talking about here. I wish he gave me a little bit more. I wish the contract was a little bit less. I just wish he had that kind of, he's probably what KG, the archetype of KG would be right now. But KG would be like a 24-12 type of guy, winning Defensive Player of the Year, finishing all the defense every year. I just wish, of course, that's a very high bar. It's top 20 player ever. But I wish you were getting a little bit more from him.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
29, I have Zach Edey.
Wow.
Rebound machine, O-red machine, block machine, defensive god down there. He just aligns a lot with my obsession with possession maxing. So, are you at all worried about his fit in Memphis or no? No, because I think Memphis is getting Boozer, and Boozer was playing with Ngongba at Duke, who shares a lot of the same similarities in regards to the defensive rotations and the feel that Edey operates with in a weird way. So, if Memphis gets Boozer like I think they're likely to be a top 4 seed in the West.
28 is where I have Denny Abdia. So, of course, a lot different than Mr. Casey over there.
He's coming up for me. 28 is where I have Austin Reeves. It was unfortunate he got hurt at the end of the year, but yeah, I mean, great offensive player.
28 is where I have Jalen Suggs.
Wow.
I have him this
there
high.
There it is.
I have him this high because he is. You talked earlier about Sid, Reggie Miller, Colin Caruso, an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
Jalen Suggs is like the CEO of chaos. He is an incredible defender. He is always in movement on the defensive side of the ball. I think his shooting struggles are more of a result of Orlando propping him up to be like a 30% usage player when he should be floating around 19 to 22% usage. The playoffs were ugly, but I won't go on too big of a Palos spiel, but I don't necessarily fault Suggs for Orlando's failures.
Okay. This is where I have Bam Adebayo, which honestly, I probably should have put him at number 83, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, you should have. Yeah, I agree. 27 is where I got Spin Boy himself, Pascal Siakam. Season from hell from Indiana, but still a hell of a player.
27, I have Jamal Murray.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair spot. 26 is where I have Evan Mobley, and I agree with everything you said, Sid. This one pains me to put him there.
Yep, he should be higher.
He should be.
He has all the potential for it. 26 is where I have Danny Avdija. His game is not pretty to watch. I'm not going to sit here and act like that. I'm not, but I think he had a case for All-NBA this year.
26, I have Anthony Davis. I wasn't really sure what to do with him. He's clearly very talented. Even in the brief moments that he played in Dallas, he clearly showed the ability that he's still like one of the league's best and most impactful players. It's just the injury stuff. I have a feeling that Washington is going to be really fun next year, especially with them potentially bringing in either Peterson or a DeBonsta or a Boozer, whichever. They get the pick of the litter. So I think that he'll have a really cool, like, almost like a Porzingis style Washington year.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Anthony Davis probably would have been, because I had Embiid at 34, given the injuries and kind of like over time just dropping, he'd probably be around that range for me. So 25, this is where I have Cooper Flagg. I thought that was the good spot to put maybe a little bit more projection. He's probably in the 30 range, but I just think going into next year, given the situation he was in, all the upside, 25 I think is a perfect spot for him.
Yeah, and he'll probably be top 15 next year. 25
maybe.
25 is where I have James Harden. I think the floor raising he gives you in the regular season, honestly, everywhere he's gone, the way he's able to raise your floor as an offense, playoffs is a whole different thing. I can't put him much higher than this as a result of that, but he tried to help Cleveland lose against Detroit, but I respect his ability to play well in the regular season still to this day.
25 is where I have Evan Mobley. You guys kind of share some of my sentiments about his aggressiveness on offense. But he is undoubtedly an incredible defender with all the room to grow on offense. He was a little bit more aggressive off the dribble this year, took a little bit more jump shots, and expanded his repertoire. So 25 is where I'll have Evan Mobley. 24,
I got Spin Boy Pascal Siakam. Always been a huge fan of him. Yeah. And I think the real reason is because I used to be hard on him. I didn't think he could ever be a number 2 option on a championship team. And I mean, even early in his career with Kawhi Leonard, I just feel like he had so much to be proven. And I think he's proven it over the years. And like you said, season from hell from Indiana.
We forget how raw he was and how late he started playing basketball and how much he's developed since he even just came in the league. It's pretty remarkable. At 24, I thought about it, but I decided not to just because he was so good in the regular season. He took such a big leap from where he was. I decided to be nice and not to nuke Jalen Duren. I put him here.
Okay.
I know the playoffs were bad. It was tough, but I decided I'll be nice to him.
24 is where I have Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder, not Asian Duke Dennis, the Jalen Williams that is referred to as J-Dub. Really tough year with all of his injuries. I still very much value his defensive versatility, and I think he'll be fine going forward.
Wow. I thought you were going to be higher than I was because I was a little scared putting him at 23 and knowing your thoughts. But yeah, I'm glad you value the injury concerns with the wrist last year, playing through that, and then the hamstring really not being able to kind of hit his stride. You can't mess with a hamstring injury. And there was too many times where, like Game 6, there's no way he should have played. And he was out there he shouldn't have been out there. I do think if he was fully healthy, you guys win that San Antonio series. So that's how much I value him as a player. Mm-hmm. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. Jalen Williams at 23.
So I would have had him in this general range. I decided that it was such a tough year from health injury wise. I mean, I've never seen someone pull their both hamstrings twice in the same season. I decided it would not be fair for me to rank him. In general, he just wasn't himself. He battled back from his wrist, and then he kind of catches a stride, hurts his hamstring, misses 3 weeks, plays 2 games, misses 5 weeks, ramps back up, misses 2 weeks. For some reason, plays Game 6. That made no sense to me. I decided not to rank him. 23, I went with Chet Holmgren. Very worthy Defensive Player of the Year, runner-up finish. We all know what happened in Game 7. I know. Very talented. very clearly probably knows what to fix in the offseason going forward. Still think he's very impactful, but OKC in reality was pretty nuked with injuries to their shot creation in their offense, with AJ Mitchell and J-Dub both being hurt and relying on a young Jared McCann. It was not really fair to put that burden on Chet, but maybe I say that, but he was all NBA third team, so maybe he should have still had that responsibility. I don't know, but either way, still a very, very impactful player and a player that helps drive winning.
At 23, I have Donovan Mitchell.
Oh wow!
At 22, I have Devin Booker. I kind of feel like at this point of his career, he's kind of just coasting. I don't see him unless he, goes to like a Detroit or somewhere where he can be utilized as somebody who has that drive and hunger to win. I just kind of think he's coasting. He got his bag, he got his playoff experience. He's a bucket, no doubt about it. But like, I do wish his efficiency was better at times. I don't like the fact that, he's used kind of like in this point guard role in Phoenix at times, because I don't think that's his natural position. But I don't know. To me, I just don't see him getting any better at this point in his career. He's kind of just going to stay the same.
We're on which one? What number are we on?
22.
22. I got Bam Adebayo here. I mean, still a very good defender, right? Obviously, had the game of all games. He's not going to be the first option on a legitimate title contending team, but I still think he is very impactful.
At 22, I have Kevin Durant.
At 21, I have Jamal Murray. Finally had a season where, he proved that he could be that guy. And consistently, I feel like it was always up and down in the regular season and then, shine in the playoffs. But this year, all NBA type player. I mean, I think he finally earned his flowers.
Yeah. 21, I got Scotty Barnes here.
At 21, I have Karl Anthony Towns.
I like it.
At 20, this is where I have Chet. I'm not going to give him too much crap, Casey, from that one bad series. I just do think that mentally he's going to have to figure out the Wemby, propaganda. But, maybe I think he got it too much in his head, but he was an all-NBA player. And I do think that he was definitely the clear-cut number 2 option for you guys this past season.
Yeah.
20. I got Jalen Johnson here.
At 20, I have Jaylen Brown.
Wow, Derek White's above.
I forgot about Derek White. Oh my goodness. Yet. 19, I have Jalen Johnson, which I'm honestly surprised. I didn't know Casey was low on him.
Yeah, I know. 19.
Yeah, he's just kind of like a usage guy. I think that he offers cool stuff. He's good in transition, but you're really not getting like a ton of defense. His rebounding's really good. He's a really good rebounder. He sees the floor fine, but it comes with a lot of turnovers. And I'm not really sure how he can scale in other positions that don't require him having the ball a lot. So
19, I have Jamal Murray. I think what he did was really impressive when Jokic did go down. He had a great year. This is what we wanted from him in the regular season.
Yes, absolutely.
At 19, I have Chet Holmgren.
Okay.
At 18, I have Kevin Durant.
18, I have Karl Anthony Towns.
At 18, I have Pascal Siakam.
Okay. I love you're giving him love. I love that you're giving him love. At 16.
17.
Or 17, gosh. Jeez.
You really want to go to 16, huh?
Yeah, I know, for real. At 17, I have Donovan Mitchell. I do think that he is severely overrated.
Wow.
Casey and Preston and I were talking about this, and yeah, I'm sorry. He's just not good. He's never going to win a championship as the number 1. He's just never going to do it.
He'd be a pretty good number 2, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
17, I got Tyrese Maxey.
At 17, I have Derek White.
Wow.
White.
Very, very interesting. That's never heard him that high before.
Yeah, he just aligns a lot with my process. I value how impactful he is in the analytical perspective.
Yep.
Shoots the 3 at an elite clip, passes the ball in an elite clip, especially given his usage and his turnover suppression.
Low turnovers,
yep. You get all of what you get defensively. So.
Yeah.
Now are we on 16?
Yes, now we're on 16, Eric.
Round 16.
Yeah, this is going to shock you. It won't shock Casey. It'll shock you, Sid. This is where I have LeBron.
Nah, not really.
Well, I know because people like love looking at, oh, well, I mean, look what he did with the Rockets. And I'm like, he was in that. Look, I get it. He's 41. He's a legend. He's the greatest of all time. But to me, like, I don't know. I'm tired of people saying that he was the best player in the OKC series. And like, to me, it's like, no, it was still easily SGA.
Yeah.
Like easily. Like people were trying to tell me that LeBron was more impactful because of what he was doing. And I'm like, dude, just because Austin Reeves was out and Luka was out doesn't mean he's the most impactful player on the court.
Yeah.
Eric, you're not gonna believe who I have at 16. Joel Embiid.
Oh, yo. Whoa.
You know why, Eric? Do you know why, Eric?
Is it because of what he did to y'all's centers rotation in the playoffs?
And you know what else? When he played those 38 games in the regular season, he averaged 26 a night.
Yeah, fair enough.
I can do nothing but just be like, damn, he kicked our ass coming off of appendicitis when we did not even expect him to show up and play.
Yeah.
What can I say?
16, I have LaMelo Ball.
Wow.
Oh, so you're higher on him. Okay.
All-time advantage creator, super mega offense, and he got a lot of shit in his career when he shouldn't have for unfair reasons, being on a franchise that didn't do right by the roster construction.
I will say I am amazed based on was it Chino Hills? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Chino Hills days? Dude, I did not think there was ever going to be a shot that he was going to be a good NBA player, and then he grew like 5-6 inches. So, yeah. Credit to him. 15, I have Karl Anthony Towns. I do think he's, I gave him a lot of respect for what he did in this finals run. And the reason that I think I had him like 23, 24 before the playoffs, was just because of, I didn't think that he was, I wanted to see more from him defensively, and he showed me exactly that this playoff run. So,
exactly. Nothing but respect. NBA champion. No one, very few people deserved it more. 15, I have Devin Booker. I give him credit for that team overachieving. I thought he had a really good year.
Have I mentioned Tyrese Maxey?
No,
not yet.
I definitely meant to say Tyrese Maxey somewhere in the 20s. So that will void my 15th pick and push me up to. I think I was gonna have him right ahead of Donovan Mitchell. So that will void my 15th pick and push me up to 14 on our new rotation.
Well, funny that you mentioned his name, Casey, because 14 is where I have Tyrese Maxey. I'm obviously very high on him.
Yep.
I am still forever salty that the Mavs drafted Josh Green over him in the 2020 draft. Yeah, 2020 draft. He was a guy that I was high on him coming out of the draft, and is a guy that continues to get better. And I've always said the second that Joel Embiid is out of town, you'll see Maxey flourish. You'll see it. You'll see him as the number one option. And I thought he took a really big leap when Joel Embiid was hurt. And him and VJ, obviously, I think that's going to be a deadly backcourt for years to come. So
absolutely. I mean, his ability to pull up from three, but also just be so fast and be able to get to the rim, puts defenses in such a tough position. This is where I have LeBron, Eric. I would have had him a little bit lower. I did give him a Rockets bump, but not anything too crazy at this point. I would have probably had him closer to 20, but I had to give him a little bit of props for what he did. I mean, I thought they were going to get stomped.
14 is where I have Devin Booker. I am admittedly a lot higher on Devin Booker than most. I think that he is like one of the more quintessential winning superstar caliber style of players. I think his Olympic run kind of solidified that for me, where he was just able to fill in, do exactly what he was supposed to do at a high level, and contribute to winning. And I think he's tasked with a crazy load in Phoenix, and that team was really competitive when they weren't supposed to be, and I give Devin Booker a lot of credit for that.
Number 13, I've been amazed with the development and leap that Scotty Barnes has taken. I do think that this year was huge for him, and I think he got snubbed on all NBA defensive and an All-NBA team in general. I do think that he deserved that over Chet, admittedly, Casey. Not any disrespect to Chet. I just think that overall his impact was just much higher. And I'm obviously higher on him as a player overall. So he was like in Evan Mobley talks for the longest time. I think he's exceeded that, and Evan Mobley's like dropped.
Yeah.
I have Kevin Durant at 13. If this was teammate rankings, he would not be on my list.
Yeah. Not a fantastic guy. At 13 is also where I have decided to live put Scotty Barnes.
Okay.
Respect. Number 12, Sid, this is where I have Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
This year he played like a top 10 player. All NBA first team, he was considered for that for sure. I think he was definitely his number one option, of course, like by default because Tatum was out.
Yeah.
But just thinking about like a little bit with projection and, how the playoffs went, I think this is a good spot for him.
Honestly, the moment that he dropped 50 on the Clippers, he didn't have the greatest kind of like stretch run, you could call it, to finish the year. But I mean, still as a whole, it's like by far his career year, all that. His mid-range had fallen off from what it was in the 2025 calendar year. So that's fair. His playoffs, I mean, games 5 and 6 were just unacceptable. The start of game 7 is unacceptable. The end of game 7 is unacceptable. So if you want to be the guy, you're going to get treated and you're going to get criticized like the guy. So if you just look at the numbers and say, oh, Jaylen Brown, like he averaged X, Y, and Z, points, rebounds, assists, whatever. But if you watched, you'd be like, like he left meat on the bone. Just, the offensive process wasn't good enough at times, a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, not good enough. Getting beat off the ball on defense, not good enough. So I hear it. Hell of a year, but at the same time, like, if you want to be the guy, you're going to get criticized like the guy too. So 12 is where I had Donovan Mitchell, just, elite offensive player. I understand, playoff concerns are always going to be there, but this is where I landed on with Mitchell.
At 12 is where I have Cade Cunningham.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a lot to prove in terms of his ability, I think, to have that burden on his chest and on the shoulder of him in the playoffs playing at a high level. We saw spurts of it, but I do think that once you give him a true number 2, he'll showcase how good he is. I'm just a little bit higher on him because I'm biased. He's a DFW native. He went to, as you know, Casey, he went to Arlington. Was it Arlington Martin? Arlington Bowie, one of the schools.
Yeah. Fun fact: Cade Cunningham made me fall in high school at an AAU tournament.
Oh,
so,
wow!
Not a fan.
Is that it? Not a fan? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
Are we on number 11?
11.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels so tough to put him in this spot, but I think it's fair. Don't kill me, guys. This is where I have Steph Curry.
No, that's fine.
It's fine.
I mean,
it's fun.
He's old. He's older now.
Yeah. That's very close. 11 is where I put JB, by the way. So
okay,
we're one off.
11 is where I have Steph Curry. So I think you're fine.
And 10 is where I have Cade Cunningham. Obviously, I think based on the regular season he had, definitely in my top 7 to 8-ish. But I'm falling back a little bit. I'm not trying to be too biased. I have him right at 10.
Yeah, 10. Eric is where I had Steph. So no, he didn't play a lot this year. He had that knee issue, but when he was playing, he probably would be a little bit higher. I dropped him a little bit just because he was banged up.
10, I have Jalen Brunson.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Fair enough. 9, Sid, is where I have Jason Tatum, and it's only because of the Achilles injury. Literally, that's the only reason. I thought when he came back, he was well ahead of schedule, and I do think that by next year, he's going to be back in the top 5 for sure. I just think given that the fact that I did nuke players for only playing under 20 games or not ranking them at all, he played 16. I think that's an okay spot given how everywhere we're at.
I decided not to rank him. It felt wrong. I felt like I was failing my duties as a Celtics fan to put him where I was going to put him, which would have been 11th. I felt that was rather than be nuking him for doing what I didn't think was possible and coming back this year, I decided let me just rank him next year. Somehow he was the best player in the playoffs for us. I mean, we played 63 games without him, and we reverted to Jason Tatum, please save us mode. which was not fair to him. By the way, fun fact, I've looked at this before. He was 15th in points per game. He was, let me just read it out to you so I don't say it wrong. I had it, but I was very impressed by all this.
Nope, you should have memorized it. Sorry. Nope.
Let's see. 1 second. He was 3rd in rebounds per game in the playoffs. 0.2 behind Wemby. He was 7th in assists.
It's like an anti-Wemby stat I can use later.
That's very, very fair. He was 7th in assists per game, and keep in mind he played 6 games. He had a double-double in 5 of them. That is tied for 4th most in the playoffs. This is at 80%. So when he's back, I feel very confident in his ability, but I decided not to rank him just to be safe. At number 9, I went Kawhi Leonard. I mean, what a little turnaround. The ability for him to stay healthy for 65 games. He still has his aimbot. I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, I'm very happy for him.
At 9, I have Anthony Edwards. He would be higher, but the defense, that stuff kills me. But he's still like probably the league's best shot maker. He's one of the best offensive players that we'll get to witness as basketball fans. And he's like 24 years old. So
yeah, dude, he's so young, bro. He's so young. People don't understand that.
Yeah. He'll be much higher eventually.
Yeah. Number 8, I have Kawhi Leonard. I agree with everything you said, Sid. I've never hated him. Like, I hated when I played him. I hated the Mavs. When the Mavs had that Clippers rival, Kawhi just used to irritate me because the fact that he would make every single mid-range jump shot at known to man, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can just sit there and laugh. I mean, he's literally a robot. He's one of the funniest dudes in the NBA unintentionally. Yeah. The only negative thing I have to say about Kawhi, obviously, are the injuries, which he's been able to kind of disprove that this year. And then also, I do think, another conversation for another day, I really do think that Toronto team could have won 1 or 2 more championships had he stayed there. So
they were the 2 seed when he left. So I mean, they were on. That would have been a 60-win team if they played the full 82 that year in the bubble. 8 is where I had Cade Cunningham. He would have been a little bit higher, and I understand that the whole playoff thing where it was like they didn't have any shot creation around him, but Jason Tatum currently holds the all-time turnover record with I think it's like exactly 100 in 2022. If they had made the conference finals, I think he would have broken that. I mean, it was pretty ugly. He had some great moments. He had some pretty ugly ones too.
Number 8 is where I have Kawhi Leonard as well. Incredible season, especially given his age. Just, I guess I'm kind of having to penalize him for his age, just going forward, and his contract and what he'll expect.
Yeah.
But I'm comfortable putting Kawhi top 10 and giving him that compliment at least.
Definitely.
Number 7 is where I have Anthony Edwards. Ant-Man, of course, a lot of respect for him. Honestly, outside of Luka and Cooper Flagg, I think he's probably my favorite player in the NBA. It's been like that for the past few years. There's going to be a point where you just got to give him like a true number 2. I think Jaden McDaniels is great, but I would like him to be like your 3rd guy. And if you have like one other piece right next to him, you're gonna do wonders. This dude can still win a championship. I know in the conference finals it hasn't worked out for them. I mean, he's like 2-8 in the conference finals. Yeah. But this dude eventually could be the face of the league, right there with Wemby. He's just like Casey says, he's so young. He's only 24. And people don't understand that had only been playing basketball before that. He was going to be a football player coming into the draft. So that's all I got to say. Anthony Edwards is a dog.
Yeah, I have at 7 as well. Completely agree with everything that Eric said. Wish he was a better defender, like Casey said, which doesn't make much sense because he's athletic, he's physical, he should be better. But the way he's able to the way he's able to put pressure on the rim, and he has just such a lethal shot. I mean, I said that about Tyrese Maxey a little while ago. Anthony Edwards does that on steroids. Like, his pull up is just ridiculous. I mean, like the way he can bend the defense in so many different ways. It's unreal.
7 is where I have Luka Doncic. I enjoy Luka as an offensive player. He is, without a doubt, one of the most special offensive players in the league. He's got an undeniable repertoire of passes that he can make and moves that he can get to as a scorer. He's clearly very impactful, but I have to field questions about how elite a team can be with him at the helm, with him struggling on defense, and then as well as his health going forward.
It hurts, but I mean, I can't hate it. At least you didn't have him at like 9 or 10 or something like that. So fair enough. Number 6 is where I have just missing out of the top 5. Who do you guys think it is? Just off a wild guess, who would you think?
Jalen Brunson.
Wemby.
Yep. Jalen Brunson.
Wow.
Jalen Brunson at number 6. I can't justify putting him any higher. And this is coming from a guy that loved watching him win the NBA championship. But guys, we got to slow down. Just because you win the championship does not mean you're a top 5 player automatically, okay? Like, the New York Knicks team, we're going to look back on them, man. They were a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for, man. Jalen Brunson had such a good supporting cast around him. Now, when it comes to the final 1 or 2 minutes of being the clutch player, like, there's nobody better than him. I will give him the crown for that, 100%. But there was also some nights, too, especially in the finals, where it's like, man, the shot's not hitting. And OG had to step up. Cat had to step up. Mikal Bridges had to step up. There was a point in the playoffs where Landry Shamet had hit 23 of his 33s that he attempted. Crazy. Like, he was shooting so well. So this team was good, man. This team was good. And I understand if you want to value the fact that he was able to put it together and win the championship. And the fact that he can do it at his size is just so fun to watch. But I do think that these next 5 guys are in contention for best player in the world interchangeably. And I just don't think that Jalen Brunson, as a player, resume-wise, now, of course, he's in that conversation. But as a player, he's not quite on that level, in my opinion. But respect for him for winning the championship. I have him at number 6.
Not much I have to add. I mean, I agree. The way he just walks you down is just like, you just know it's coming. It's hard to do anything about it.
Casey had him at 10, right?
Yeah, I had him at 10. Is that who you had at 6 as well, Sid?
Yeah, anywhere from like 6 to 10 feels very fair. I would have had him, or I probably would have had him. I mean, this playoff run jumped him above Ant and Cade for me. He probably would have been at 8. And if Tatum,
I had him at like 7 or 8, like going into the playoffs. So
yeah,
it's not like I jumped him a lot.
Yeah, and if Tatum was healthy, then I would have had him above him. So he probably would have been 9. So it's like right where Casey had him. So I just bumped him for the finals.
At 6, I have Jason Tatum. I think that his leap as a rebounder is really impressive. He also offers you tons as a tooled, switchable defender, even though he can get lazy on that end. He's still an incredible offensive player. He's also in the same tier as like jack of all trades, master of none, but he's better than just a jack of all trades. Like he's very good to elite in a lot of things. He just doesn't have a lot of pop that puts him in the like upper echelon.
It's like a lot of A minuses, it doesn't have like one like A plus, but it's like A minus and like this. Yeah, that's a very fair way to put it. It gives him a higher floor to like. Yes. See, this is why when sorry to like jump in, but like whenever like Tatum got all the slander during the finals, my argument was always like, yeah, he didn't shoot well, but he doesn't have to shoot well to be an impactful player because he does this. He rebounds well. He guarded Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively. Like he's a great playmaker. All of this stuff. So I can't say enough good things. Obviously, Eric.
Casey, for real. Casey, I also want to apologize that the fact that shame on me for thinking that this would only take an hour. Yeah,
we're all good.
But at least we're here. We're in the top 5, so we're almost at the finish line. To me, this is their own tier bone. These 5 players, if you want to put any of them at 1, I wouldn't hate you. And I mean, it's going to be okay. Fair enough, but I could hear you out. I think these players are in their tier of their own. I think there's a big jump here. And Sid, I will say Tatum is comfortably 6 for me. Comfortably, meaning like if he was at his best 5th or 4th. Like, that's okay. But given what the season he was coming off, like, you put him ahead of Brunson, that's probably where he's going to be, like, going into next year, like, comfortably. Yeah. At number 5, Giannis, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think this hurts me to say because given of what he did in 2021 to now, it's like almost like I would have never expected him to be the 5th best player in the league even 5 years later. I feel like he would have still been certified 1A, 1B. And I have so much respect for him. I want to see him out of Milwaukee. I do think that if you get him somewhere in Boston or Miami, or I don't know, God forbid the Thunder, which that would never happen, hopefully knock on wood, you will really see how great of a player he is. The two-way presence, I think his ability to move at his size kind of had me hold back a little bit on giving Wemby the crown as best player in the world, because watching Giannis in 2021, like Wemby was not moving like that in this playoffs at all. And I know it's a different type of player, but again, like being that big and being that dominant, it's almost like you don't even really care the fact that he can't, like, he's not the best shooter either. Like it doesn't matter because he's just so dominant. So I have so much respect for Giannis, and I'm praying that he gets traded.
I am too, and I bet you wonder, Eric, where I hope he gets traded to.
Oh yeah, I wonder.
So, real quick on him before I get to my number 4, or number 5, I should say. In 2025, so the year the Thunder won the chip, he shot mid 40% from the mid range. So if you can kind of tap back into that, I feel like that'd be like really able to like help him kind of age more gracefully, and that he's not just charging into 3 guys, which you can still do at an elite level. And I mean, Eric, if you have a chance, go watch some of his post game bag work. Dude, he has this like this. It looks a little awkward because he's so big, but he has this little Dirk fadeaway. He has like just a ridiculous drop step. I mean, it's unreal. Having said all that, I have Luka at number 5.
Yeah, that's where I figured.
Yeah, but I mean, what he did in like February, March, and April was very impressive. I mean, he probably re-put himself on the map in terms of like first team. I think he probably would have been trending maybe towards. He might have been able to. He might have had more second team votes. I think if he had done this probably like maybe 2 months earlier, he probably could have put himself higher in the MVP conversation as well. It reminded me a lot of what Steph did in 2021 to end the year. But I mean, him going nuclear at the end of the year was ridiculous.
At my 5, I also have Giannis. There's not much I can add. We all know what Giannis is as a defender, what he offers on offense. So it's just about his injuries going forward and also his age and the team uncertainty. So not much else I can add of value.
So number 4 is where I have Luka. And yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said, Sid. I do think that this whole like Luka's PR is so goated is kind of I think it's blown out of proportion. Like I really do think that compared to Wemby's and Jokic, it's not even close. Obviously Luka has his fanboys on Twitter and everything, but I do think he's very disrespected in voting. And I understand the defense, and that's why I can't put him in the top 3 because of his defense, his effort. But when he's clicking and he's in his groove, I mean, he's as good as anybody, I think. And I really do believe that outside of the fact that he should still be a Dallas Maverick, I do think the fact that he was, given the roster he has around him in LA, which is not very great, it was solid, but his true shooting percentage on nights where he was hitting 40-point triple doubles was actually super impressive, given how many shots he takes. His 3-point percentage has gone down a lot because he takes so many. Sometimes I'm like, man, dude, you're just shot chucking. But when he's hitting, man, like he's actually really efficient, and I don't think enough people give him credit for it. So he's number 4.
Yeah, I agree. Based off of that, the top 5, and I lump Tatum into this too because like when his jumper is going, I lump him into this conversation. Like those 5 plus Tatum when he's hitting his pull-up threes on any given night, like Wemby can drop 40 and 20, Shea can drop 40 and 3/4. Luka will give you a 40-point triple-double. Giannis will have 40 and 20. Tatum will have like 40, 10, and like 7 or whatever. Like they can all look like the best player in the world on like any given night. It's very impressive. 4 is where I have Giannis, just because of injuries. If he's healthy all of next year, I might put him second. Like, just because he's a very good defender still, he's so efficient, and I'll explain why I would jump him over the 2 guys that I have right above him. But I feel like if he's healthy next year, he plays 60-plus games, not even the full 65, I would probably put him second next year.
At my number 4 spot, I have Tyrese Halliburton. I think Tyrese Halliburton
Whoa.
is a basketball wizard. He is an impact machine. He is a positive play merchant, I guess you could say. There's not really anything he does that takes away from the game of basketball. His impact metrics are ridiculous. He had like the playoff run with Indiana. His passing metrics were on par with like players like Magic Johnson and Steve Nash. He's just an incredible basketball player, and I'm very excited to see him back playing basketball, especially because his game isn't really predicated on a whole bunch of athletic pop. So I'm not sure that the Achilles is going to harbor his game a ton.
Wow. Dude, I totally forgot about Halliburton. I mean, I didn't forget about him because I didn't rank him because we didn't see him this past year. Obviously he'd be in my, top 10 to 15. That actually surprised me, man. I didn't know you were that high on him. That's actually,
I mean, he's incredible. He's borderline 50, 40, 90. He's additive on defense because he's so intelligent. He's got like a ridiculous ATO. All his efficiency metrics are off the charts. He's a great ball player.
Do you see any comparisons like Penny Hardaway? Do you see any Penny Hardaway in his game? Like in terms of,
he reminds me a lot of Steve Nash. It's a very, very methodical process. He's constantly making right reads and right passes and resetting when it's appropriate. He scores efficiently from all spots around the floor, and he's additive on defense because of that. All of that intelligence brewing inside of him.
Are you at all worried about the shingles that he's dealing with? Because I mean, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know anything about shingles really. So I mean, I pray to Allah that doesn't affect him in any way going forward, along with any of his other bodily issues. But yeah, I don't know enough about shingles to speak on it properly.
Fair enough, dude. So that means our top three are going to be the same one way or another, regardless of order, which is great because it comes down to this. And the reason Tyrese Halliburton also threw me off, Casey, is because I forgot you already ranked Luka. So there had to be somebody that you hadn't had already. So kudos to you. My number three, and I'm comfortable now saying this after the finals, this is where I have Victor Wembanyama. I do think the other two ahead of him have not only finished the job, but they have excelled offensively over the course of their careers. And I understand that Jokic, who, is coming up, he's had 2 bad playoff series in a row, but that doesn't take away the fact that what he does on any given night, especially on the offensive side, excels what Wemby has provided so far, I think. If Wemby would have had games like he had against OKC game 1 consistently in the playoffs, okay, then I would have had no arguments for putting Wemby 2 or 1. And of course, if he would have finished the job, or even if they lost to the Knicks in like 6 or 7 games and he was out there, averaging 30, 15, and 4 blocks or something crazy like that. But I just haven't seen him reach those heights that his PR and all his fan base talk to him like he's the second coming of Christ. Now, he gained my respect in that OKC series. I do think that given that the year he had, it's only a matter of time, he's going to be the face of the league. He's already 3 for me, but I don't think he did enough in the playoffs to warrant number 1, especially a lot of times, whether he would need to go down low and he wouldn't, and he'd pull up for 3. And it's like, dude, like sometimes you don't need to play like KD every time, but also you're not Shaq either. So like there's kind of like a balance to that too. I'm not saying he should always be in the paint, but I do think the Knicks matched up with him well. They gave him problems, and he made a lot of crucial mistakes late in those games that he's going to have to learn from it. He's only 22 years old. I can't milk him too much from it. I know people would milk it and say, oh, he's not top 5 because of that. No, he's still here. He's arrived. He's gained my respect, but I don't think he's reached that level offensively consistently to be 1 or 2. But I also think his defensive impact is so good that I can't have him any lower either. So that's why he's certified the 3rd best player in the world right now.
Very fair. I hear you on all of that. I have Jokic at 3. Because even when Wemby is not bringing it on offense, as you said, Eric. You said a lot of great points. He still is impacting on defense. Jokic needs to be an impactful offensive player. And when the offense isn't really there, it's like, what are you really getting? I mean, and he really struggled. It's the second playoff in a row. I am going to knock Jokic for that a little bit. I think he did not look quite the same when he came back from his knee injury. I'm glad that it wasn't anything more serious. I'm glad it wasn't a more severe injury. Very easily could be one next year. And it's kind of why I'm saying, like, if Jokic puts up 28, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, but Giannis puts up 31 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and he plays both ways and he plays 65 games, I feel comfortable putting Giannis over him, because offensively he's going to give you not the same numbers, but like very hyper efficient, productive numbers. And then on defense, he's going to be his usual self. So I feel if he's not going to give me the offense I want in high leverage moments, I feel comfortable putting guys who can at least provide on defense and give offensive punch over him. And I know I'm saying that, and Wemby is not consistent on offense compared to him, but I still want to give Wemby his props for his run this year.
Yeah, I mean, I also have Jokic 3 for a lot of the same reasons. The baseline that Victor offers you defensively, I think, is it's hard to not call that the best in the world or the second best in the world. And he offers you a baseline of efficiency on offense just based off his existence. He doesn't even really have to be operating on the ball. His roll gravity is like top of the league. The way that teams pay attention to him in the paint, it gives opportunities to guys on the perimeter. So I think Wemby's baseline of existence, on top of all of the things that he adds when he's on top of his game, put him above Jokic for me right now. So Jokic will be 3.
And yeah, Jokic is 2. Had him number 1 last year. But, I mean, obviously I factored in, given everything that's kind of been going on in the rise of everybody else. So Jokic comfortably number 2 for me. Yep. Is this where you have Wemby?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hell of a run. I just think he needs to be able to handle some contact better. And in 2 ways. 1, he needs to be able to get to his spot better, not get bumped off his spot. And 2, he needs to be able to not throw a little tantrum when he gets a little, little forearm, or a little shove or something, not start chucking everyone around.
Yeah.
He did push Tatum down a couple games off the Achilles.
I got really mad about that in the moment. Eric can attest to that. I got really mad about that.
But yeah,
Tatum
I have Wemby too.
Yeah. So number 1 is SGA, and I know Casey's happy to hear that we all the consensus is that we all agree here. Look, I understand that there was times in the playoffs where he was off some nights, okay? But it didn't help that AJ Mitchell and J-Dub were out a lot of the time, especially in that Spurs series, and how much they attacked him defensively in every series. Like, Shea had to deal with a lot of physicality. That's why I don't really understand the whole, he throws himself on the ground, he flops. Like, dude, there was a lot of times in the playoffs where they literally were tackling the dude. Like, he was getting a lot of contact, all right? And he was still going out there and being efficient and scoring. He had some bad games. I understand that, but he was also phenomenal in the games that he needed to be, I think. I think in specifically game 1 down the stretch, he was good. Game 2, he was great. Game 3, he was great. Game 7, he was phenomenal. So to me, I think his greatness outweighs the lows that he has occasionally. And on top of the fact that what he's done for his team and what he's done in the regular season, I mean, this dude was this close from being back-to-back MVP, Finals MVP, and what else? What else would he have been? Back-to-back champ.
Western Conference Finals MVP.
And Western Conference Finals MVP. Like, he would have been in a conversation that not a lot of people could say they were in. And I do think that he's one of those guys that the hate has been overblown. And Casey, I already talked about this last time, but he's going to be one of those guys where you look back on him in 15, 20 years where he's retired, and you're going to think, man, Shea was like that. And we really didn't talk about it in the moment because all we talked about were the narratives that he's a free throw merchant, he's a flopper, he's unethical, So I like Shea. I think he's a cornball, I'll admit it, but it doesn't bother me to the point where I'm not going to call him the best in the world because of it. I know how great he is. And basketball fans should understand how great he is. Casey, all I'm going to say is I have one question to you.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron never did it. Jordan never did it. Is Shea going to win his third straight MVP next year and join Larry Bird? What do you think?
It'll be tough.
Yeah.
I think he'll certainly be in the conversation. But, if he makes it as undeniable as he has the past 2 years, then I don't see why not. He's a special, special player. I'm lucky to have him a part of the franchise that I support. He got a lot of shit in the playoffs, and deservedly so. He had some stinkers. I'll never run from the criticism. Has developed a weird habit in his release sometimes, where he'll feel the need to get way off the ground and then release instead of it being more of a fluid motion, which pisses me off. But I'm nitpicking because he's still great. He led the playoffs in points created for his team and assist percentage and the efficiency stats like assist to turnover ratio. Led the playoffs in assists per game, was still second or third in points per game, while also having similar gravitational statistics to prime Steph Curry. For a slashing guard who operates in the mid range is the ultimate sign of respect. I think he's the best player in the league. I think next year he will maintain the best player in the league for a good chunk unless Victor decides to ramp it up a little bit. But I think I can comfortably say that he's the best in the league without really thinking about it too much.
Round of applause, gentlemen. We did it.
Have fun editing this, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I might break it up into 2 parts if I have to. It's no big deal. But This was fun. I might... And you know me, you know how editing goes. I'll probably cut something out, but it is what it is. I thought we did a great job, boys. Casey, I hope you don't hate me. The fact that I kept 2 hours and 2.5 hours of your time.
It's okay.
But seriously, your stuff.
I can talk about this for days. So
okay, good. Because I need to have you on more often because I enjoy your takes.
Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you joining me, Sid. Of course, it's always a pleasure. I will text you tomorrow about something nonsense in the group chat. So, boys, y'all take care. Have a good night, and we'll see y'all. So like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.